Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Okay. Now first start with the payroll and payroll register this week. Glasses on. Much better. Starting the week of, or ending the week of October 28th, 2025. We have payroll in the amount of $37,783. Payroll taxes in the amount of $9,534. We have accounts payable in the amount of $34,524. There was also a payment for the transaction that was completed on the Mooney Nunger property that we brought into town conservation on Thursday, and that was in the amount of $225,974.75. So, having gone through that, I would accept a motion for the registry.
Motion.
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pass this around for signature. The consent agenda this week includes public minutes of October 21st of 2025, the rec manifest, as well as building permits. So I would take a motion.
Motion.
Second. Yep.
Do those things, can I just look at them really quickly? I mean, you could just skip it if you,
Do you need the perm?
yeah, I haven't seen any of it. I saw the permits.
I just saw the comments. Okay.
Where are the non-public minutes?
The non-public minutes are not part of the consent agenda, just the public minutes.
Says non-public minutes
Yeah,
right here. Oh, okay.
I didn't.
Nope, I just wanted to make sure I saw all the right stuff.
Just initial those changes.
Okay. Thank you. So there's a motion and a second on the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. First discussion, action item, I'll hand over to Julie. There apparently is some town, yeah, thanks, Jim, appreciate it.
Don't lock it.
Or lock it.
So what I'm handing out are the tax card to 339 Route 125, which is in the commercial district. And my understanding is that this is a piece of property that was tax deeded in May of 2024, that the redemption, yeah, I know. The redemption period would have expired by now, which would be for a year. So this is property that's within the town inventory. We have received apparently an inquiry in terms of whether or not this is property that we would be willing to look at for sale, it being in the commercial zone. So the question for this board is if there's any preliminary interest, and if there is, then we could talk about what process we want to have, i.e.
Do we have-
an appraisal or?
This is on 125?
Correct, yeah.
It's the trailer next to Stratum Tire, or now Sullivan Tire. Can't see the trailer anymore because it's overgrown.
Yeah, I remember doing an inspection on it when,
I'd make a motion to have an appraisal done on it, see where we stand.
That's 2.8 acres too.
Yeah.
That's a,
Good commercial lot.
What is that the official
pretty
kind of
flat.
appraisal that we'd pay for, or
it's
Wha-
pretty flat too.
why?
Don't we want to know what it's worth?
No, I'm more interested in knowing what we could get for it.
That's what the purpose of an appraisal would be.
So,
Right, but we would want to set some valuation, so at least we would have in our own mind what would be a fair and reasonable offer for the property if there is an inquiry.
Shouldn't our assessor be able to do that
yes,
for free?
yes.
I don't know, is that
Wasn't that
something
just
is-
done as part of the revaluation, actually?
Well, there is on the tax card a 2025 evaluation of, if you look at the one of $397,000.
Too small.
I mean, we could confirm that. I mean,
On the-
frankly, I'd always feel more comfortable with an actual appraisal.
Well, I don't think we're gonna do, I wouldn't recommend a private sale. I'd put it on the open market and
Do an RFP or just list it for sale?
just list it for
Just
sale.
listed
and
for sale. Yeah, I agree.
Once it hits the open market, you're gonna get multiple bids on it.
How's that, how much is owed on deeds?
Oh, I mean, it was already taken by way of tax deed, so that's wiped out in the past.
We're clear.
And then whatever it sells for, that's just revenue that comes in?
Mhm.
It
True.
doesn't have to go back to the family because that time's expired?
It's the town property, yeah.
So the statute's expired on that.
The redemption period is expired. Yeah, it's over, it's been a year. The deed was in May of 2024. So I mean, we could put it out there on the open market. Apparently, there is someone who is already interested who could, provide an offer, or, again, if we wanted more. And we could hold off and see what
Yeah.
we get and then decide whether or not we want to do an appraisal.
I'm not comfortable taking the first offer we get.
Oh, no.
I'm not
no,
either.
No.
I think it,
And I think we should do our due diligence to figure out what it's worth, whether it's from the assessor or not, but
And
it's a value.
one a question, and you might know this because you're on the planning board. Under the new laws, because it's in a commercial zone, doesn't that mean it could be multifamily?
Well, it would have to be enacted, right, by the town at the next vote. That's,
No, I thought the new state law that went into effect said that anything that's in a commercial or industrial zone has to also allow for multifamily.
someone from planning here? Is that
Doug,
Doug?
come on down.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
So it could be more,
A lot more.
it could be a lot.
Yeah.
There could be more interest than we realize.
That's why I mean, I'd almost.
but don't we have to
have to reach
enact
into
the
a bill.
ordinance, though, to be consistent?
With the state. Right, where you can build a detached or attached ADU in-law apartment just by right on any property.
And this is spaghetti lot though, huh? Looking at it.
But if you wanted to put an apartment building in there, that would be fine.
Yeah, it's just long and thin.
No, I thought we were enacting or putting out ordinances to that, yeah. Because the ordinance would give more detail, I think, in terms of what, can be built there, right?
True,
Right.
yeah.
Right, so I still think,
Sorry.
we're gonna have to enact something,
Commercials are different.
for purposes of, yeah, okay.
What's commercial property setback?
50 feet, isn't it?
Because this is only two.
Oh, no, it's 100.
Lots only.
100 feet. 100
100
feet.
On all
Yep.
sides?
I don't think on all sides.
You're ta-
Frontage.
From the, yeah,
Frontage, they have 200. feet
Isn't it
frontage.
25?
They have 200 in the front, but then
that means they can have a
that
driveway.
means it's just long and thin, so if it's 100, then you got a very skinny building.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why it's a mobile home. On that lot, so that can.
So there's a motion on the table
What's the motion specifically?
Get an appraisal?
hire an appraiser to get an appraisal on it.
Okay, or I thought we were just talking about putting it out on the market and getting
Yeah,
bids.
I mean,
or-
I don't know who we would contact, even when a realtor do that too,
I suppose.
Not
yeah.
a,
to market it.
not a, they'll do like a market analysis, a realtor, but not an actual appraisal. So we can, get a realtor to do a market analysis.
All right, let me take back my motion then.
I mean, I'd like to get a market analysis so we can see what that's worth, and then
Mhm.
it's go put it on the open market and see what we get for offers on the land.
Julie, can you take care of that?
Mhm.
Okay, get that moving.
Do you need a motion for that, or?
Yeah.
Motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Yeah, you're done.
Aye.
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 Okay. All right, Julie, you're up in terms of where we stand in terms of bookkeeper for finance.
Yes, I spoke with Lisa, who works in Daphne's office, to see if it was anything she would be interested in, and she said yes. So I don't know if you guys need to vote on that to allow her to extend her hours, but it would be basically one day, and she would get the same rate of pay that she's getting in Daphne's office.
How
I mean-
many hours a week is she doing now?
She does 2 days, 16 hours. So it'd be another 8, probably.
So this basically would come in at under what,
Under budgeted.
yeah, and under
Motion.
budget and what you
Second.
had estimated. And the
Said the
idea,
magic
the
words for
idea,
Bob.
yeah, right. The idea,
Saving money.
the idea being that this position would be to help with the accounts payable and also,
Payroll, and
Payroll.
yes.
and we're talking about 8 hours a week at what? Do we know what the rate?
Currently is 21 something, I believe.
Okay.
And I budgeted for 25.
Perfect.
Would this be permanent?
If all goes well, that's the plan.
What if when you switch over to the new software, you find that you don't need that as much? Could we reevaluate later?
Don't need as many hours.
Just as we switch to the new software, it's possible that we might not need as many hours in people that we have now? Or do you feel like that's not going to change with the new software?
I don't think that would change with the new software.
Okay.
So my suggestion is, if it seems as though less hours are appropriate, you'll let us know.
Yeah,
And if-
I mean, the number of hours needed may decrease,
Right.
but I think we'll still need somebody
Right.
there.
And maybe you might need more hours, you'll let us know that as well. But for now, we're looking at, I think we have a motion, 8 hours at that rate, coming in under budget, 21 an hour, 21 and change. So,
Aye.
was there a second on that?
Yeah.
It was.
There was?
Motion is-
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So now we're on to budgets, and I understand that highway is up and Wayne. And I think Jim Hajar was going to also assist because he was working with Wayne, and I think there's a, I don't know if you want to start by talking about the salt and sand issue?
Send me out.
Yeah, okay, so Jim Hager, business manager for the highway department. Wayne hired me a couple of weeks ago, so.
I don't think we approved that
Is that on-
expenditure.
Is that on the budget?
It was a soda, a can of soda, that's all it was, so, yeah, and he paid me.
A can
Um,
of soda?
Yeah, I was happy to help my friend anytime. Yeah, so I think Wayne gave you each a copy, and if you want to jump to the salt, or, I mean, I could just go through the highway first, Paul. I mean, you want me to jump out of order? It's up to you, I don't.
Well, only because the salt was so,
Yeah,
I just want to let you guys know that all these numbers here, I gave you the my first paper. All these numbers on the front page here, they haven't changed. The only one that actually changed here was the trees, because I had 6,500 for trees, and then it got knocked down to 4,000
What line is that?
on the trees.
Yeah, which?
It's,
So if you look at, care of trees.
Care of trees.
5 from the bottom.
Gotcha.
here are trees, okay? All the rest of these numbers is the same thing that you guys already read and none of them been changed. And just to let you know, these numbers that I have here, these numbers I've had here, I haven't changed them for a few years. I kept them the same. I've always came out on top and I never, went over in them. And so I've always left them the same. This year here, there's a few in here that are getting close. I haven't gone over yet in them, but they're getting close to be running out. Now I can tell you the reasons on that is a lot of the stuff that I've had to fix, trucks and everything else, the prices are up. They're not basically down the same every year. But so far, I'm hanging in there.
Is the road construction line, is that the paving for?
Yeah,
Bell and
the road construction is the paving.
For Bell-
350,000 is for, hot topping roads, and that's been taken out, that's all done for this year.
But-
And hold on, I can tell you what I have left in that. Road construction right now, I have $27,760.81 still left in
Okay,
that.
so this
Now-
is not the most up to date. This is from when you,
This is the newest one.
no, but these numbers don't match what you have.
Current budget.
Okay,
Current expenditure.
that's all, yes.
Okay, so, and that 27,760, that's for road constructions. That money, I don't touch that money too much if I don't have to for the whole year, because that's the money that I have to fall on when I get rainstorms and lose roads.
Right.
That's the only place that we can get money for that unless we have FEMA, which we don't have FEMA no more, so this is what you gotta depend on. Unless you guys got money and I don't know.
No, we're broke.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So let's talk about the 350 went to
Yep.
Bell and Flynn. What does that?
That
line
took care of, took care of all the rest of South Road,
The rest of South Road from where to where?
from South Road from, 125 down by Heavenly Donuts.
Yep.
All the way down out to, 107.
Okay. And what else
In,
do you get for the?
I did Robinson. There was a big area down there that was really bad. And we also done that road down there.
Thank you, because it was a mess and you did a good job on it. Yeah, thank you. I drive over it every day and you did a good job on it.
Yep. And then what was the other road I had to do?
Pine.
Pine Road. Did Pine Road from, 111A all the way down to 27. Well, almost to 27, we went to
The
the
Exeter
town
line,
line.
right.
So I know this is one of the areas, Wayne, that we're looking at, in terms of trying to contain the budget. I mean, is it within the realm to be looking at, some lesser amount that is budgeted and go with,
Well,
something-
let me figure in what we're up against for next year now. I'm not sure. Mill Road is getting close to being done. Okay, so if Mill Road gets done for next year, this money that I get, this 350,000 that I get, I'm gonna have to use that to do Mill Road because in the
Construction. of the new
construction
building.
thing is that we're supposed to do that road as soon as they get done down there. And that road is gonna be tear up, there's gotta be, new culverts all put in that road. There's gotta be all rails down along the river. And we've, way back is, was it 22, I think? 22 when they started that? Okay, When we went down there, I actually have that too.
My,
This is the whole proposal right here.
Bell and Flynn?
With Bell and Flynn. And, for everything that's gotta be done,
250,000.
250,000, that's what it was.
22 rates.
That's what the price was in 2020,
right,
okay?
2022.
2022.
Yeah.
This is
Now,
5/18 of 22.
yep, I talked to John Bell about probably 2-3 weeks ago. I said, we need to go through this so we can see what is, what's gonna be going up. Now, the guardrails, I called down to the guardrails down there, and I forget how much that,
Guardrails is 45,000.
45,000. I called the guardrail company here 2 weeks ago, and they come back to me, the two people that were there are not there no more, that came up and did all the measuring and all that kind of stuff. But I talked to the secretary there, and that's only gone up $27.
Well,
I thought the developer was supposed to be paying for,
He's paying for part of it. And he's also called me too. I could have got money from him this year to start it. I forget
so how, do you remember how much the developer was contributing?
yeah, I don't have it with me though.
Yeah.
That's over 100 and something. I know it's 100 and something, and he also spoke with me. He wants to have a meeting. As soon as I find out the prices, he wants to have a meeting. If it's gone up, we're gonna have a meeting. And, he's also offering it that he'd probably have to add to that if, on account of the prices. So,
we should tell them it went up 100 grand.
yeah.
100? You're generous. 200.
All right.
Are we live? No.
My fear is that if we do lower that, we might get into trouble, because there's going to be other road repairs that need to be done as well as Mill Road.
And Robinson was only a section.
Well,
Sectional.
now, I started my list, if I don't do that. What I got coming up for roads for this year, and I left a list out in my truck, I think. But anyways, I have a list up there. I started going around and looking at the roads and what we have to do. I got probably three to four roads that actually needs to be crack sealed. And I can hold off on more of the hot topping if I have to, and just do the roads out there that I've had a couple complaints on, the one road down off in Pickpocket Road, that they were worried about some crack seal. Now, the crack seal, we went down and looked at it, they're small, they're not very big, and there's only a few that's going all the way across the road. But if we have to do that whole road, I can do that, and I got some more, probably about 4 roads that we looked around, all we gotta do is
That's a
crack.
whole different story though than the hot topping.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So,
I mean, I can back off, with all my roads that I have here, we could probably back off and won't have to do a whole lot of hot topping. I could wait a year if I had to.
well, that's
I don't
why,
wanna, I don't like to wait a year, because I'm telling you, if we get behind, it only takes a little bit to get behind, and we were here one year, that's why the prices went up, because we have to catch up. You don't wanna play catch up, because it's too much money.
but if we took, say, if we went from like 350 to 250, wouldn't that be
Well,
sufficient?
That's what we had before we brought it to 350, because we were going backwards.
Right. But wouldn't that be sufficient for what you're talking about in terms of,
If I get 250 and do some of the crack sealings, and what?
What if Mill Road if you got participation come from the contractor, he's
Right.
gonna be due 100, it kind of offers that anyway.
Could I offer an alternative way to do it, which is moving this back into a warrant article?
Either way, it's still affected by the 5% rule.
Yes, but then the voters can decide if this is where they want their 4% to go.
I don't wanna go too far back, go too far back, because we're adding roads this year.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about going
What
too
did we
far
have
back.
this year?
We got, we got about 69 miles of road. We had 67, but we got,
I
there's a
remember when
total
you were
about.
at 58.
Yeah.
I remember Jeff Bryan saying it had to be 500,000 for road
Right.
paving.
Yeah,
Well,
it costs.
And,
So could,
and paving's probably doubled since.
Yeah,
Yeah.
say the price.
so
is
could we
up.
make a warrant article for like 400? And then depending on what people at town meeting, what their appetite is for keeping up with that, we could do that. Because I know that a couple years ago, there was also concern that the money wasn't spent on roads. If it's a warrant article, that's the only thing the money can be spent on.
Yeah, for the longest time, we had it as a warrant article, so it would be specifically related
yeah,
to
you-
just roads, so.
Yep.
Used to be, I used to come in and explain it to everybody, what roads that I was gonna do in
Yeah.
there, then it was on a warrant. And we get the roads, but.
And I think
they
the
say-
concern would be is if you do cut it back, and then the next year, you can't go 4%, so now you're kind of in
Yep.
that limbo.
Yep.
I think I would entertain going, because he's got 380, probably doing 350, knowing that it's specifically with Mill Road, I got a contractor that's contributing to that.
Yeah, I thought that was
Sizable
a
amount.
significant amount. So I'm sorry, when you say.
Because right now you're at 380, so you
Well,
come down to
380 doesn't include the hot topping. We're just talking hot topping here, which is 350 of the 380 is hot topping. So the question is, how much hot topping do we really need to do?
2 miles of road
So
when you do it.
350 is 2 miles of road. And you got almost 70 miles. So realistically, it would take you 45 years to repave everything?
Yes.
So maybe we need more than that?
Just how my mind works. so.
Yeah, no, that's mathematically accurate.
I mean, they come up quick. Let me tell you, these roads come up quick.
But again, it sounded as
Because
though,
of the weather.
you were talking about Mill Road as one that was needed.
Mill Road.
Okay.
And now if I have to wait another year for Mill Road, and that could happen because they stopped down there, we went down there and they're still working there, building the houses that they have, and they stopped part way there. They haven't done the back side yet, so we don't know how long it's gonna take them to dig the cellar holes and put that in. It might take them all next summer to do that. And we gotta wait until they're completely done. That was the agreement, I guess, wait till they're.
Well, 'cause
completely
otherwise
done
the
before we
trucks
do
are just
roads.
gonna
So
ruin
maybe
the new-
another year before we even get in there. I don't know.
Yeah, because the heavy machinery is gonna
Yeah.
damage the road, which is why you guys paused.
In my opinion, it's a lot of hot top.
It is 2 miles, right?
2 miles.
But
It's not a lot of hot top when you figure you have 79 miles of road. 2 miles is not a lot of hot top.
No, it's not far. It's cost a lot of money,
Yeah.
the way it is, but
Roads are expensive.
that's why you have to keep right with it, because if you get behind, then you're gonna be asking for a lot more money to fix the
Yeah.
roads.
what do you think would be acceptable in terms of a number?
If you were to shave it, what would you shave?
Oh,
If you were to take a haircut off of it,
yeah.
what would you haircut?
Oh, I don't know, but.
Or do you need me to sit down with John Bell? John, let's talk.
Or we can just
I
pull
mean,
the
we-
whole
we-
amount out.
We always made sure that we do 2 miles of road to try to keep it up. And so far, since we got
It's
it
been
caught
working,
up, we're doing okay.
The way my mind works is if we put it off, it's gonna be more expensive, and like he said, it's gonna be harder to catch up later on. I mean, I know we're looking at everything, but I do think that Wayne comes in,
Pretty solid.
he uses every bit that he gets, and he's very frugal. I don't know that we take too much out of the,
I'm not saying that Wayne isn't frugal.
no, I'm just saying, what I'm saying is that I fear if we pull out of paving and say only do a mile next year, Now, the year after that, we have to do 3 miles and instead of 2. And that's gonna be a lot more expensive that mile is gonna be a lot more expensive than it is next year.
Well, yeah, if you were to cut it in half and only do a mile, but what if you took 50,000 off and, you know, we're looking at 300,000 instead of 350 for
Well,
hot
three
top?
thirty, because he's at 380.
You still have to finish Pine Road too, don't
He
you?
has that buffer.
Pine Road's all done.
Well,
No,
that's-
but
that's for the,
the-
Well, we,
that's
the-
for
oh, the
his
other
road
thing that we
construction,
do-
so it'd be
the other
300
thing that
plus
we do
30
where
for
every time
330.
we do this 2 miles of roads, we also include the shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
both sides of the shoulders on each.
Well, you
road.
have to,
You
yeah.
have to have
Yeah.
gravel.
Yeah.
And that's all included as well.
Yeah, because otherwise it's gonna break off and then you're
Right.
fixing it.
That's all done by machine, so that's included in every hot topping job we do with 2 miles is the gravel.
So if you were gonna take a haircut, back to the haircut, if you're gonna take a haircut, where would you cut in your budget?
In here?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Before you start telling me to haircut here, let me
I'm not
tell you.
telling you, I'm
Let me
asking
tell
you.
you some more that we got coming.
I'm not asking
And
if
that-
you're a crew cut.
And that's
yet.
that's gonna come next year. There's a line item in here that I don't have on here. I didn't put it on here because this year I don't have to do it. I won't have to do it, beginning of next year. But I gotta have that line item in there for next year, and that's cleaning out catch basins. We're getting a lot of catch basins that we have to clean out in town, and they have to be done. And, Three Ponds Campground is loaded with them. That's the one I gotta worry about. I've also got them in Brentwood Forest, which I did last summer. I did all them in, Brentwood Forest, in Block Drive, in Dudley Drive, and, Bartlett.
And you only have
And-
$1,000.
Well, I took that out of my road construction last year because I didn't have a line item. So at the end of the year, I got Badger, which they have all the trucks right over here on 27. I got that guy to come over there, and you have to pay him $3,000 a day for each one, and he won't take an order. You can't go in and do a few. You have to have a whole day's work for that truck to go in there, and last year was $3,000.
That was out of the road construction line that we're talking about.
Yeah.
I took it out of the road
And
construction
Wayne,
last year.
how many days do you foresee that?
I have to use them for 2 days,
Okay.
So 6,000, and you got
$6,000
$1,000 in the
to
budget.
do all of them. Yeah.
Can I have a bite later?
You want some more coffee, Bean?
No, okay.
I'll finish the bag.
Be up all night.
So that's for next year.
And you always, looks like you just have 1,000 that you're carrying over in that
That's
budget.
it.
Jim, I just want to comment, your insight's been invaluable as the businessman.
I know when to listen.
All right, so Jim, if you were to give Wayne a haircut, not a crew cut.
We're waiting.
Trim,
So before we get to the crew cuts or haircuts, there's a couple things. One, last year you had asked us for another position, and we said that last year was not the year because we were focusing on staffing up over at the fire department. Do you need another position?
Another position?
Yes, another
Anytime.
person.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're gonna need another position. We're getting more roads, and there's 3 of us down there now, and with all these more roads, yeah, that's coming. We're gonna,
Okay.
I didn't put it in here for this year, because I'm supposed to keep the price down, and we're supposed to keep it down like, down to
level
4% or
funded, yeah.
something.
Well, we
No,
want level.
no, I mean,
Huh?
if you
I
need
want
another
level
per-
funded, but
Okay.
that's me.
So I guess I'll just say, I would like to make a motion, I guess, that we move the road paving to its own warrant article for $400,000 and take it out of this budget.
I wouldn't have a problem doing the 380 that he's looking for, but then the problem is it takes away potential for catch bases. So I'd say 350.
What? Sorry, I just don't understand. I'm saying I think we should spend $400,000 on roads next year.
You take how much out of line item?
350.
I'd be fine for a warrant article for 350 and just make sure that's, and going back to what we always used to do before was a warrant
Yeah,
article.
I would say.
I hear you, but it sounds like 350 is not enough.
No.
Well, it gives him 2 miles of road, which is what he looks for.
Didn't I just hear him say that that wasn't enough?
Bless you.
You think you, bless you,
Uh,
you think
three-
you can get it, you think you can get it done for
If I'm gonna
350?
get, if I'm gonna do 2 miles of road, 350's been covering it.
Right.
Then nothing
But
is
how
gonna-
how long is it going to take you to repave all the roads if you only do 2 miles a year?
45 years.
Yeah.
Are roads good for 45
they're-
years?
They're good, but a lot of
I
our
haven't
roads.
paid mine in
are
20
Fairly
years. so-
good.
20 is different.
It's less than 45, actually. That would, it's more like,
Okay, I'm fine with
30,
350.
35, I
It sounded
think.
like somebody
We're
thought it
splitting
should be
hairs here.
5. We're,
I'd be fine with doing a warrant article for 350, and that way it's specifically allocated to just the roads,
yes.
paving,
Yes.
and that way it can't be massaged to other areas. That'd be nice.
Absolutely. I would also like to know if you need another person this year, how much that person would cost.
We do that for a warrant article as well.
Sure. But we've been talking a lot about succession plans and having a bench. And if we could look to utilizing that position with that purpose in mind, I think that would not be a bad thing.
So there's a motion on the table. I'll second it,
For,
the warrant article.
Moving
And you're okay with
350 at,
350?
yeah, because we can, because they can change it at town meeting if they want to.
Yep. I would agree with that, so I'm fine.
Just for my clarification, from a budgetary standpoint, it doesn't matter, right? Because warrant appropriation and an appropriation in the operating budget totals together when we figure out the tax cap, correct?
Unless,
Okay.
unless the warrant article is from unreserved fund balance.
No, that's not true.
No?
No, it's still an
No,
appropriation.
unfortunately, things that we take out of unreserved fund
It's-
balance still counts towards the cap.
It's an appropriation, and then is a revenue offset under, just above offset to taxes. There's a fund balance voted surplus. That's where that goes. So it acts like a revenue to offset the appropriation. So again, I'm just asking from a tax cap perspective. It doesn't really matter whether it's
No,
in
it's-
this line.
no.
It's
impact.
strictly, it is true, the comment that was made that it can only be spent on the roads. And maybe the warrant, maybe you get Wayne to specifically list the roads maybe to let people know.
I think, for me anyway, this year, as we started to look to places where we could find money in the budget, I want to make sure that that road money is never used for anything other than roads, because we have to keep up, like Wayne said, we have to keep up with it, because if we get behind, it's not great.
I think Wayne's done a good job of not doing that.
Wayne doesn't get to decide if it's in here. That's the difference,
The 5 people sitting here can,
whoever they are. We know it'll be you and me for sure next year, but we don't know who's going to be with us.
Andy?
there's a motion and a second.
There
so-
is.
Yep.
Any further discussion? All in favor of moving that line?
Nope,
uh,
350,
Right,
not the
moving,
total line.
not the total line, but 350 from that line of road construction and turning that into a warrant for town meeting.
Aye.
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 Do 2 miles of road.
Aye.
Aye.
So that line becomes 30,000.
Yes.
Is that gonna be 350 doing 2 miles of road?
It's $350,000. You can do as many miles as you can squeeze out of that.
That's fine.
Assuming it.
Assuming that
And-
it passes.
And to be honest, Wayne, as she said, maybe you work with the select board on if there's specific roads, if it's a little more, maybe you go a
Yeah.
little more too. I mean, maybe that's how the best way to do it is to specify to the legislative body which roads and how many miles.
I can say, yeah, but if the price goes up, that's gonna change things. We won't get to 2 miles.
So if the price goes up before town meeting, you can change that number
I'll
at
find
town.
out
Yeah,
before that.
I think Jim's idea
know that
of
for sure.
picking roads and then maybe getting
Yeah,
quotes for those roads, and if we have
well,
to adjust.
I'll work with Wayne. We'll work with the select board on coming up with a really good wording on the warrant to clearly let the legislative body know what they're voting for and what they're gonna
So
get
that
for
would
that.
bring
Really,
the new budget down to 462, 637
So,
but it
but,
really doesn't do anything
Right,
Overall,
Well,
overall.
overall.
right.
sorry, what?
looks good today.
Yes.
What budget? What?
It's gonna take his highway budget, if you take the 350 out and put it into a warrant article, the new budget is 462, 637. Overall, if that warrant passes, you're at 812, 637,
No, I-
which is a 1.6% increase.
I understand. I wasn't done.
Oh, okay.
And
I would also like to add $6,000 into the
This is
culverts
separate.
and basins line,
Right, but this is,
so that he
We're on
doesn't
this
have to
budget.
pull it out of roads,
Wayne,
because it's not a road.
I want to make sure he's hearing this.
I wanted to add $6,000 to your culverts and basins to make it 7 total, so that you can pay to clean out those basins that you were talking about.
yeah.
You pull that out of road construction though, Wayne, correct?
But it shouldn't be coming out of road construction because it's not road construction.
We have a line for culverts and
Okay.
basins.
But-
What I wanna, I gotta find out more about the price. I gotta check, cause I haven't did it for a year to find out if they've gone up, and I can find up, and then I can just count all the roads that I gotta do, and then I can come in with a.
But she's saying put it in now so that we're ready for it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, Wayne, I would take the offer, as you only had 1,000 in there for now, and you were comfortable with that, but the offer here is to put 6,000, so that
Put
you'll at least
6,000.
have it.
Well,
I
put
would
have it to-
5,000 if there's 1,000 in there now, so. we're
Yeah, I
going
go
to
with
6,000.
Or we could move 25, we could move the 5 from road construction, which was at 30, right? We
So
left
make
30
that
in there, change it
25
to
and
Pull
25,
5 out of that.
and
yeah,
change culverts and basins to, I know it's the same bottom line
5,000.
number.
With
Okay.
the 1,000
But
that's in there now, so
just-
6,000. So if
So-
you do have to pull out a little more from somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere I can.
So
find some.
culverts goes to 6, and the road construction goes down to
25.
25.
25.
Got it.
So
So
that
I'd be
doesn't
fine with
change the
making the motion for,
Bottom line number.
I have one.
okay, go ahead.
So
So you're gonna put in a separate line item for that, right?
You already have it.
You already have it.
culverts and basins.
We're just gonna add
It's
money.
line
to it.
674.
okay. So we're right here.
350 is getting taken out of this. This
Yep.
would be 30, but we're taking 5 from there and moving it up here, so it's 25, and then
Okay.
that's 5,
Okay, that's fine.
or 6.
Vehicle repairs is budgeted at $50,000. In '24, we spent 14.5, and this year we spent 9,002. I think we can shave
on.
some money out of that.
Hold on.
Hold on.
We're not done with that yet.
Let me, tell you what's going on with the vehicles. I got it right here. We have vehicle repairs, right now I have, 38,513.93. Okay?
Left or spent?
Left,
Don't change.
How much?
left.
Say it again?
38,513.93. Okay, but I have one huge bill, and I got another bill coming for a dump truck that the turbo went in it. Part of the parts of the turbo went, they had to buy new parts. It took them all summer to try to find the parts. International didn't have them, and I don't know where they got them, but they now have it, and they got my truck fixed. We're gonna go pick it up tomorrow, and I don't know what the bill is gonna be on that. Now, the backhoe, our backhoe broke down, 2 weeks ago. We had a problem with that with the pedal, and we put a brand-new pedal in. We went up to Cat and, went up and told them what was going on with it, and they told us just put a brand-new pedal in there, okay? It lasted about one trip, and then it did it again. So we had a brand-new pedal in there where they thought the problem was, so I called Cat back up. They came down with a mechanic. The mechanic was down there 4 days. Came down from Concord, 4 days down there, and he tried to diagnose where the problem was. The first day he was down there, he was on it all day long, and then they started tearing things apart. And he said something about the wiring going underneath the cab, going up underneath and going into the cab. He said he thinks that's where the problem is. Well, it was where it was, but he didn't have to take the cab off. He came back, he took the big tank off there with his, he had a big truck there with a crane. He took the big tank off, he went in there, and inside there was a pipe. It was a muffler pipe, just a short one. It went up. When it went up, it made a hole in that pipe, and all the wiring was under it. It burned everything right out of it. And there was actually, when he got done, there was like 4 inches that was going in up under the cab that it didn't burn. He cut it off, and they put a whole new section of that in there. So that's big bucks. It's gonna be big bucks. We know that, but we got the backhoe back. And I called them yesterday to see if they have the bill, and the woman said they're still working on it. So I haven't got it yet. I was hoping I'd have it tonight, but
If I were gonna estimate the repairs between the turbo on the truck and the repairs to the backhoe, probably about 15 grand.
Wayne,
So just,
Wayne, could you just explain roughly, what would the value of all of the pieces of equipment you have that need to be maintained? Like, what do you think it cost? Like, what would be the value of these? I'm just trying to figure out as a percentage of how much equipment do you have that you're covering with a $50,000 maintenance line? Because, like
well,
you
and
said,
keep in mind, when you're talking about vehicle maintenance,
yeah,
this is right up my wheelhouse. You have older equipment. It's gonna need more maintenance. Every year is more maintenance. Parts are harder to get. And so,
yeah, and
I don't think that we should touch this line. I think that,
I don't.
thank you.
No,
yeah,
definitely not.
no,
I was trying to make the point that, I mean, we're talking about expensive equipment. He has a lot. Some of it is aging. I think you really risk undershooting if we
Yeah.
trim this one.
yeah.
I mean, you're blessed.
anything, I
You're
would
blessed
add-
if you don't use it, obviously. But
Sorry.
thank you, Jim.
Well, I get, and I totally agree that $50,000 for the amount of money we have tied up in equipment is cheap. But if historically we're not spending it, why are we appropriating it? That's my point.
Well,
Yeah.
in historic, so we're not done yet for this year.
Right.
That's why.
I think what Andy's saying is that last year there was only 14,000 spent out of the 50.
Right, but this year it's more because the equipment's getting older and,
Right.
you know.
It's not 50.
But even with another 15,000, you're still looking at 25,000, not 50.
Right.
How about would you do 35 or 40?
Do I hear 42?
I don't know. Just, right, split the difference.
3750?
I don't know.
Hey, there's one other thing I want to bring up about this equipment. That the other problem that I do. have-
Wayne, I'm sorry, but speak into the microphone just so everyone can hear you at home.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
got yelled
yeah.
out for that last week.
The other thing that I got, that we have a problem, and what it is we got a tractor down there, Kubota tractor, and we got the mower on the back sides, a long arm mower that we cut brush. That mower is getting old. The mower itself the tractor runs good, but the mower itself is getting old. Now, I had MB Tractor come up to try to give me a price to put a whole new rig on the back and get rid of that other one. The what is it? The
mower deck?
it's the back mower deck. Basically the bearings inside, they can't get new ones. They can't match them up.
So
One thing.
Wayne, if I can, so we have a mower that's outdated. You can't get parts for it. So we've talked to MB Tractor about renting they rent these tractors, and local towns do this now. It's cheaper than getting a new mower, buying a new mower. And if anything happens to it, we don't have to repair it. And it's really the way to go. So,
How much does that cost?
It's
3,000 a week.
3,000 a week.
Yeah.
How many weeks
And
do you
it's
think
gonna
you need
take
it
us
for?
probably 3 weeks to get around this town.
$9,000.
Okay, could we add that to the equipment rental mowing line?
We should.
But then you would have to shave off
Well, shave
Well-
some of it off.
Well,
of-
I'm wondering, do we take 10,000 out of the,
Yes,
vehicle repairs and move it into equipment, mowing equipment?
yes.
I'd be good with that.
You have that, Julie? Okay. Because I know we were readjusting another line prior to that. I don't know that we necessarily need to move. I mean, if we're just,
We're still
Yeah,
at
we-
462,
if we're just-
637.
yeah, if we're just moving,
Just move
numbers,
money around.
it actually comes out to, I don't know which,
462,
yeah, I had 475.
637.
475, 389.
why, what did we add?
I got it.
Didn't
Yes,
add anything.
475389.
Yeah, which is the first yellow
It's
column.
825, 389 minus 350 is what I did.
Oh, okay.
So what's the goal here? To level fund this, or are we
No.
trying to shave
No.
some?
Here.
What are we doing?
That's not my goal.
Do-
It has never been my
At
goal
the
to level
12.
fund any individual budget.
Do we have the current expenditures for this budget? Because it still looks like he has $200,000 left in the budget.
Mhm.
This here, 1027.
And what's your bottom line budget right now?
The summer one is $116,217.85
Left?
left in this one, yeah.
Where are we now? Which-
We don't have that.
He has a newer report, Paul, than what was in this. It's a newer report that he's reading.
This is the one I got, that I got here that day, so.
Can you grab that?
You want me to can I go make a copy of that real quick?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And this here.
While he's making a copy,
21785,
He's got them both.
yeah, that's from October.
Make copies for both of us.
Yeah, she just gave me this one.
while he's making the copies, just to point out, we'll call it the Bedard effect of the 3.5% increase in salary is because of that
Yes.
weird from last year to this year. And as we kind of talked, that if you do a 3%, if you do a 3% increase, it actually comes out to be 3.5% if everything else stays the same, like the number of hours or as a salary person, it actually is 3.5%.
You're talking about,
I'm giving you credit for that. That's all I was
I didn't do it. It's the 13 and 39 week thing.
correct.
Want to get rid of it, so.
Do you want to talk about snow and ice?
Yeah,
While we're
sure.
here, Jim,
Yeah, why not?
and waiting?
So if you go to the snow and ice budget, there's a 3% straight weight, and again, it'll show as 3% because, I guess it cut off, the percentage cut off of the slide, but those are contracted wages with the plow drivers. If you look at the sand budget, I kind of reviewed, Wayne and I went through all of the invoices for the year because, well, we both were wondering why we had so much money left over last year. And lo and behold, we found out that on average, a load of sand, the way he does this is he was looking at loads per year and how many loads did we use. And we went through, he gave me how many loads he used from 2021 to 2025, and it averaged 28.2 loads. Prior, Wayne was assuming that a load was 100 tons. And unfortunately, when you look at, or fortunately, when you look at what an actual load, a dump truck load weighs, it's 33 and a half tons. Because it's roughly 67,000 pounds, and they fluctuate probably depending on how much they heap into the pickup trucks, into the dump trucks, but it averaged 67,000 pounds per load, which is 33.5 tons. And if you look back to what he had said, last year we would have really used it was $69 per ton, so we would have, an average load was $23.11, and in 2026, that same average load would cost $2,400. So really, he's estimating 30 loads.
Nope, so he gives us an invoice at the beginning of right? We've already approved
It's
it
a-
for this year
That's all.
It's
I know.
The amount of loads,
it's a
Amount of salt,
it's a
amount of salt.
contract.
yes.
Yeah. I've used, so far this year, from the beginning of when it started snowing last
Mm-hmm.
the year until now, I've used 23 loads. I
Right.
just put 4 loads in the shed to start with, because the shed was pretty empty. I just got 4 loads in there, So-
How many do you have left on last year's contract?
left on there.
Yeah.
Well, it all depends on how soon the salt gets here, but I've already used 23. I just put 4 in there to try, I got, 4 loads in the shed. I can put 2 more loads in there to make it full. But I've been holding off, I've been kinda holding off, because I don't know when the snow is gonna come. But the rest is gotta go until January. So I don't know how many storms I'm gonna get from now until January
So it doesn't,
to know how many loads, but I'm hoping it's no more than 30 to, between 30 and 33 loads, because that's what it's been averaging out. I got it all right here with averaging out from 2021 to 2025 right here. And I started with 33 loads, 21, 33 loads, 22nd, and the 25th is 23 loads, and 27th was 27 loads, and 25 right now is 23 loads.
Right,
I have-
right.
I
We're-
have every bill in here.
So I think the question though is Wayne, the question that she's asking is, you've already submitted the contract with the salt company for
that's the other
2026
thing. That's
that
the-
shows that you estimated 3,000 tons,
Right.
and you got a price of $71.65 per ton.
Mhm.
Now, the interesting thing is that that's because, again, he was assuming 100 tons per load.
but I don't think it
Well,
matters.
let me just finish. Let me just finish. It does matter, actually. Because when you sign that contract, it states in there that the vendor guarantees that they will deliver up to that amount, and we will use we have to use minimum of 40% of what we asked. Now, it's just, I think it was good planning on his part, because he got the discount, but the truth is that we would actually have been, because of this factor of 3 that he was off by, because a load is 30 tons, not 100. So when we told them we needed 3,000 for 20, we're only gonna use 1,000. But it's just below that threshold. Wayne told me he's never gotten them to come back and say, oh, we're gonna raise your cost.
I've always run that, since
You know
I've
what I
been
mean? So
here,
it's
I've run that.
just,
I
and it was
haven't had
just
a problem.
planning that.
And the other thing, it's been twice at the end of the season that I was pretty near out of salt, out of sand and salt, out there, and I called them up to get salt, and they told me that I'm right to my quota, that they gotta have a meeting before they give it to me. And
So that
they-
makes me
they-
feel
they-
like
They give me
maybe,
the meeting and I got the salt, but it got me through for the season. So I'm running close on the salt,
So,
the salt.
so what is the request for the salt line?
Right, $77,633, and that consists of $72,008 for salt, $3,000 for patch, and $2,625 for sand. Total $77,633.
so what we did last year worked really well because it enabled us to cut this line down and still have the money there for him to be able to buy the salt he needed when he needed it. I don't see why we shouldn't do that again. Because we have the contract, which means that we can encumber whatever he hasn't spent, right? Or whatever's left in the contract that he hasn't purchased yet.
Well, looking at the,
Still has 30,000. He still has 30,000.
yeah, he's got 39,000.
I know.
still, yeah.
That's
But-
my point.
but-
Sand salt. is like 30.
But can I mean,
Now,
if,
let me.
No, my turn now.
no, I was asking a question, because I'm trying to understand the
Well,
encumbrance of.
Can I tell you about,
Yeah,
this sand
you
is,
can.
this
Go ahead.
sand and salt, it isn't all salt that goes out on these trucks, but
I know.
the storm, we mix it 2 to 1.
Right.
We put two buckets of sand and one bucket of salt on the trucks, and then whatever the temperatures are, we may have to add a little bit before we leave, but we add it on there and go out there and do these roads, okay? And,
Right. What I see though, Wayne, is that you have more than $30,000 left to use from now until the end of December for your sand and salt. That feels like enough.
Yeah, well,
And last year you did 45,000?
I don't, no, not, well, that's what we appropriated last year.
We encumbered money.
We encumbered it.
Oh.
So because we get the salt contract, we've already got the salt contract, that means we could encumber funds from this year into next year to cover whatever he might need. If he doesn't end up needing it, then we haven't appropriated it to just sit there. And if he doesn't end up using it, it just
well,
goes
the
back
other-
into the
other
general
thing-
fund.
The other thing to look at here, if we get snowstorms earlier, it starts snowing earlier than what it usually does, we're gonna use more from now until January. And you gotta
Yes.
have money to cover it.
But you have lots and
Yeah.
lots of money.
I totally
understand that.
agree.
If there's any money left in that line item, after January, we can encumber it and put it where we want, but we better make sure.
We don't have to only encumber from your budget.
Julie, do you have something on that? No, okay.
We can, like, if you have money left in your highway budget, we can, it's not from a specific budget, it's just money that's left in the unreserved fund balance at the end of the year, the select board gets to encumber it into the next year. We do it all the time, I think.
So he needs $77,633. Are you recommending like sort of like you would encumber $80,000?
No.
I'm
No,
trying
I
to
would-
understand how the
Yep,
encumbrance.
so an encumbrance has to be tied,
Fund?
an encumbrance has to be tied to a specific invoice.
Correct. His salt order for this year.
Yes, so
Which
that
was-
is what I would encumber.
Right, but this is just an open contract, right? I mean, it's an
It's
open.
not an open contract.
Yeah, but every year I've sent money back. I've sent money back here every year since I've been here. I never overspent, and I know I spent plenty of money back here but at the end of the season, but I always thought they put it back into the general fund after.
Right, but under the tax cap, if you don't spend it, that means we have to cut it from somewhere else where maybe they would have spent it.
Oh, maybe they had a place to spend it.
It's
I
not
never
about
knew
head
they
of,
had
it's
plans.
just, we only have so much room. And if we use some of it for a maybe that might not happen, then that means we have to take it from somewhere else. But what I'm trying to do is I'm saying that there is a way to get you your full salt, or, because I think last year we didn't give him the full amount, because I think I was the one that picked a lower number, but we could pick whatever number we want to encumber towards the
but
salt contract. Is that,
Just so you know, I think you budgeted 45,000 in the line and you encumbered 35,000. So, I mean, that's $80,000. And actually, it would have been fine for what he ordered. Like, I think you're hearing his numbers of what he got. It actually covered it. Do you know what I mean? So you had 35,000 encumbered last year, plus you had a $45,000 appropriation. And the encumbrance was specifically for the salt. So that's really a total of $80,000 that he had. And I think, is that what you're recommended? That because you know that this year you're going to be able to.
so again,
Is that 35,000 encumbrance in addition to the 14,005?
Yes,
So, okay, so there's about 50 some odd $1,000.
70, 40 plus 35.
80.
You had 45,000.
45, you cut it back down to
45 plus 35 is 80.
Yeah, but
thousand.
we've only,
This is from-
we've
this-
only, it looks like the
You've
the
only spent
expenditures are only
30,000.
about
Yeah.
14,552.
Yeah.
But I will be honest, I went through
Plus
all of his invoices for this year in end of September. I went through all of his invoices,
Yep.
and it was 58,000 some odd dollars. And I mean, that was actually, I was looking at his invoices. So again, I'm not sure how it applies to this.
so I
but
think it doesn't, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't apply. If this board would like to decide to encumber the salt contract into next year, we don't need to make this increase here.
Yeah, when you say encumber, though, we don't have specific invoices.
Yes,
to-
we do.
We have a contract.
We
with
have
the
a
salt
contract
company.
with
We're gonna
the-
buy
So many.
so
Up
many
to-
tons.
Up to so many. just like we did last year.
No, I understand, but it's an, that's why I'm saying it's an open contract.
That's what we made out.
Until you actually have a purchase order,
So
I
we're
don't know
looking
how
at
you,
two
I don't know how you
thousand
encumber it, but
50 tons. So
How
you-
did-
You can go up to 3,000.
I don't know.
What did
Okay.
Julie think?
Yeah, Julie?
I think if we have a signed contract,
I believe last year, and I don't have a copy of the contract, lady, but what he
Here,
told me was it
Jim.
was 2,850 tons. Is this last year?
Yes,
Yeah.
he added more this year because of the more
Correct.
roads.
Oh, thank you.
Did you want to see it?
sure.
Jim, could you pass that?
That's already been sent in to Morton Salt, and they've already accepted it. Julian sent it in with the, with the
So we're looking at 3,000 tons,
Up to.
up to 3,000 tons.
So what are you suggesting, that we lower this request from 77 to something more along the lines of 45, and then we can encumber it
Encumber, yeah.
at the end of the
Do
year?
what you,
That's,
like, do what you did last year, encumber 35,000.
yeah, you know, my only thought about it is that you're encumbering something where we don't have a purchase order for it yet.
We-
It's just an open contract.
But-
I understand it was done
No,
before.
no, no. So what I was gonna say is we don't need a purchase order, we need a signed contract, and that's what we have.
Julie's not in her head.
Okay.
She's a financial person.
I mean, isn't
Okay.
that what I think the RSA specifically says, a signed contract?
We have one for
We have one.
3,000.
30,000.
Mr.
And-
Chair, I did the same thing, and
3,000.
they're right.
3,000.
I mean, it didn't feel right to me either, but
Yeah, I'd have to look at the statute, but that's fine.
I think it's what, $85 a ton?
7165.
No, it's
So when we get closer to
71.65.
the end of the year, we could look and see
We're getting a
how
lower
much.
price. Now, if we don't use that, if we don't, is a certain percent. If we don't use.
40,
Huh?
40%.
If we don't use that, what we asked for, that price is gonna go up on us at,
But we did the math, Wayne. It's pretty close. I don't believe you're going to hear from them.
where is it?
That's correct. Wayne,
It's 86.65.
We-
65, and you say you go through 3,000 tons?
Yes.
No,
No.
3,000,
Impossible.
no.
no,
He
no,
goes through 30 loads,
30 loads,
right, which is,
how many tons?
less
it's-
than that.
it's,
But again,
it's
this part
33
doesn't
tons per
matter.
load. So,
33 tons?
We could
per-
just-
yeah, so he's like
we
off
could-
by a
we could
factor of
see
3. He
how
told him
much-
3,000, and we roughly, it's about 1,000, 1,005 or something, 1,050, something like that.
Okay, so,
But it comes in
Penalty.
just a little bit below the penalty clause, and he told me he's never heard from them, and I'm assuming it's because we're just on the cusp. They didn't waste their time with such a small, because we're small order.
165.
Yeah, I know. So I would like, I guess, make a motion to drop the salt, sand, cold patch line back to 45,000. And this board should investigate, as we reach the end of December, what's left on his salt contract and decide how much to encumber at that point.
I would recommend you do at least a 35, because then that gets you to what he what needed, so.
Sure.
That's what
thank
you did
for your
last year.
recommendation, but the board will hopefully have better, like, depending on what the actual is, because it could snow
Yeah.
next week and then we'd be in trouble, but won't be in trouble.
Oh, I wasn't looking at the past, I was looking going forward, that he's estimating
I mean, what if
1,000.
we're gonna, if the idea is to encumber it anyways, then what's the difference? So, I mean, we could put it down to 35 and then still, encumber it if that's the intent.
Long as we got money, long as
that?
we got money,
Yep.
we get to the end of and we need more.
And Wayne, I know you were worried last year when we did this, but you still got all your salt, didn't you? You still got all your salt. You'll still get all your salt this way too.
Well, I'm still bringing it in, and
Yep.
we're still getting, I got 4 loads right now that I'll be bringing, I'm not sure if I brought the bills in yet, but I got 4 loads down there. Okay.
So what does this board want to do with that salt
Well,
line?
I made a motion
What was your motion?
to cut the line back down to 45.
Is there a second on that?
and you think that's doable?
All
right.
As long as we encumber.
Correct,
We encumber.
yeah, like I said, probably at least
Otherwise, we're all
35,000.
gonna be out there with table salt.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Right.
So we're back to this budget, which,
Well, we can vote on snow and ice control with that deduct.
yeah, okay.
Oh,
I don't know what that brings us to.
Hold on a second.
Let's all math and see if we all come up with the same number.
Everybody still with us out there?
Yeah.
So that brings that to 30.
You're looking a little red.
The difference between 45 and 77,633, right?
Is what?
The difference between 77,633 and 45.
Yes.
So whatever.
Subtracted from the 130.
I get
3506.
I get 97873 as a total,
6.
but I will wait for another.
Does anyone want?
97,873.
Okay, there you go.
So make a motion for the 97,873.
Second.
What is it?
97,873.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, moving back to the highway budget, I think the number that we were talking about was 475,389 after removing the 350 for a warrant for road hot top.
So
paving.
350, yeah.
we currently have 116,000 in that budget.
Where are you now?
You're on this piece of paper that Julie brought around.
Okay,
Remaining, but we know we got some serious bills coming in for maintenance. And Jim thinks that's gonna be around 15 grand, so let's say we got about 100 grand sitting in there, roughly.
But with 2 months left, we should have what percentage of the budget left? Roughly? And he's got 14, so I mean, it's not,
It's not unreasonable.
no. And I looked through the line items and didn't see, the only thing that looked askew was fuel and maintenance, why we only, why we still had so much left, but
Vehicle fuel?
we still had 40% left of our.
Where do you get your fuel from, Wayne? Your vehicle, your
no.
gas?
Etna brings the fuel.
Hafner's.
Okay.
They fill up the tanks that he's got over there.
They're usually pretty good with billing, so maybe there's,
Okay.
which line is that, Andy?
vehicle fuel and oil, 662. It's,
Yep, see it.
Vehicle fuel.
Julie, do we know if everything's posted
I have,
to this budget?
There's only,
9,009.
Yeah. yeah, so he's basically just under 10,000 left right now.
At 40%.
Yeah, but then if you get snow,
No, I understand, I'm
he's
just,
gonna be
that-
cranking through that fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diesel's gonna go out the window. Because most of those are diesel, right?
What if we add another person? And left all the other, like, with that, between salary, FICA, Medicare, and retirement?
I would say if you're gonna do that, you make that a warrant article and not add that to this budget.
Okay. I think trying to, I don't know where you'd cut another.
I don't see any other cuts, is
I
what
know.
I was trying to get at.
This budget's pretty good. What was the number, 475, what did you have?
389.
I'm gonna make a motion for the 475, 389.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, Wayne.
You got
Okay.
that?
thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Wayne.
Welcome. Thank you.
Rec, you're up next.
Okay,
Ah.
all right.
Before we get to the budget for rec, there's an appointment for Laura Hajar to the Recreation Commission. This would be,
Fill a vacancy.
fill a vacancy. I'm just trying to see the term on it.
It would go until March. I would make a recommendation instead of having
Why-
reappointed in March,
Why March?
because that's when the
Oh, it's filling
vacant
the-
term, it's filling a slot.
Okay,
I would
gotcha.
make a motion, since this is an appointment, that we appoint this to March of
I thought all the terms go to the
27.
July.
June or July. That's why I was asking.
No, we had a couple, it's a mix.
You come up if you want to explain, Jason. Yeah.
Oh,
Julie, come on up. Come on up, Julie.
Yeah, go
Pick
ahead.
a seat.
Or
This one might have a missing wheel, but that's right. Yeah,
do
it
you want to
does.
explain the term?
Well, so I spoke with Daphne this morning, and Daphne actually recommended that we stick to March because if we extend the period to the 2028, which I think is what you're going to go for,
27, yeah.
then what we have is we have multiple commissioners expiring at the same time,
Right, you wanna
which
keep
will
it
leave us in a
staggered?
deficit.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes
So
sense.
Daphne recommended this morning when I spoke with her to keep it to the just extent of this term, and then have a
Re-up.
Re-up,
reappointed. And
yeah,
that's-
in this
So this
term.
one's till 26?
Yes.
26, yeah, March of 26.
Yeah.
But I think board-appointed people, we were trying to get to expire in June, just because March is hard with budgets and board changes, and we were just trying to push that out. So we were doing board appointments in June, elections in March.
Right.
So
So I
maybe
know-
we can appoint her till June of '26.
Laura, do you have a problem going till June of 26?
June
Right.
30th, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
I know currently all my commissioners expire in March of their given year,
Yeah.
and
we
my
should-
alternates
Not-
expire in July.
not ones that we, oh,
Right, we should probably amend those to June, so
We'd like to align everything, ideally,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So, but currently, if you
June
look. at the
30th is
listing-
is the target date.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would make a motion for that.
Okay, so move for Laura Hajar through June of 2026.
Was she an alternate?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes, she was.
So second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's sign off on this, son. Thank you.
thank you.
And who else? You had another one, right? Did we have another one that we were doing, or somebody for alternate?
No,
We have
it-
seats for open for alternate.
we have seats for alternate, yeah.
This fills our commission.
Okay.
I think, so there's the budget, and I know this, or was there something before the budget? No, okay.
No,
There's the
Laura's
budget,
gonna
but
sign
I know this also ties into the whole
Laura's gonna
issue which we were discussing last week as well, pertaining to, yeah, that's all right. I was just saying, we're gonna go over the budget, but it also really ties into this whole issue of whether or not we have a full-time, rec director
Mhm.
moving forward. So you have the floor to persuade us why that is
I'm
your
assuming
position.
Julie has the floor as the chair of the rec commission.
Do you have a decision between the two of you as to who wants to present?
we were letting Jason
Oh,
present tonight
okay.
because he had all of his stuff together and
Before we
everything.
get
So,
into
yep,
that, does Laura need to go get sworn in before Daphne leaves?
Yeah, because we got the forms.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And she's right,
Laura,
she's
you
right
want to
there
take
waiting.
this to get sworn in, or sworn at, as I usually say? Thank you. Thank you for serving.
Yeah, thank you.
So I know the commission, the select board is currently debating whether a full-time or part-time director is needed for the department. I fully believe that a full-time director is needed. I know I submitted a
Do
proposal.
you have the supports to pass out?
I have a bunch of documents here. What would you like?
Well, let's substantiate the full-time.
Well, so, geez. So I know I was requested I'm pausing my voice, I'm losing my voice a little bit, but, I have a list of our programs and events that we have, to offer, because I know that was something that was discussed, so you can pass those around. This is just a list of the couple categories, it doesn't include other responsibilities by the rec director, but that just provides a list at a glance of what the rec director, and myself has to do on a given year. So hopefully we're getting passed around. I don't believe I have other documents here if it needs, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I guess my opinion is just having worked with Andy for so long, I saw the amount of work that he had to do on a daily basis. Myself right now, trying to cover two hats right now, I am overwhelmed by myself. I don't know really the goal of the select board here is in terms of whether it's a part-time or a full-time that's necessary, but my opinion is you need a full-time.
Okay,
So you
so
have 30 programs, how often are they attended?
Depends on the event or program. So some of these run seasonally, some of these run consistently, some of them are one-offs. It just depends on.
Overall, do you know how many attended all these programs together? Did you put together those numbers or no?
Are you asking for attendance for all these?
Yeah.
No, I don't have those numbers for me. I
Okay.
unfortunately didn't have enough time this week to get that done.
Okay.
So I think the source of the confusion may have been that you were making a proposal
Sure.
at one point that you would work as a part-time
Sure.
director along with then a part-time program coordinator with some interns. So,
Sure.
so what, did we misunderstand?
No,
that?
you're correct. I'd say
Okay.
the one thing to add on to that statement is that if I was to have taken over at that capacity, that the department wouldn't have been a one-to-one as what it currently is. I spoke with, I believe, a couple members of this board saying that there would have to be a reduction in services or programs and or events that we offer in order to make that part-time position work. One of the reasons I did withdraw my proposal is because I didn't want to see the decrease in what we offer. Because I know I had a phone call yesterday with a lady who just moved into town, and she was not bothered, but a little upset to see that we don't offer more for our senior demographic. And if anything, going down to a part-time director would potentially even reduce that further than what she's already seeing.
On the salary line for program coordinator, it looks like you have,
Sorry.
I was like, are we moving on the budget? Because I have those.
Yeah. I
documents
don't-
as
are they
well.
revised? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so the number you're seeing, and I got confused
I
about
don't
this when I
have
went
that
to the board meeting the other day, is you're looking at 24 number, and then the 66,435 is this year's number.
Just to pause a second, nobody else has those numbers.
Yeah.
Do you wanna- yeah,
Yeah.
I can pass this around.
That'd be great.
Oh, these are this is the ones they gave me, and then I
Okay.
said, hey, make this make sense to
Sure.
me.
Actually, this might be yours as well. Pass that around. That's the budget there for 2026 that we have.
So it stayed the same? They didn't increase it
For the rec director, correct.
for the rec director? I was confused when I saw this last, at their meeting.
Yeah, I didn't pass that out, so I don't know where you got that one.
That's the one from you guys.
Oh, so you have old paper.
And then I got into
Gotcha.
it with you the other day.
Gotcha. Well, I wasn't sure what Paul was looking at then. But yeah, so the budget there that I just passed around is the updated budget that was approved by our commission. And that's what we're seeking moving forward in the 2026.
The part-time coordinator, you want to address that? Because
Sure,
that's a
I'd be more than happy to address
different
that.
increase.
On the back form there is a breakdown of my year for 2026. It's broken down into 4 sections, and based off of my position, I work part-time during the school year, and I go up to full-time during the summer. So that's how that number was accumulated. The warrant article that was passed in the spring allowed up to $38,000 for salary, and as you
I'm
can
sorry,
see,
allowed to what?
up to $38,000, and this budget was under that at $34,000, and that's because the warrant article was up to $25 per hour, and I was hired at a lesser amount.
I thought the warrant article had a lesser amount that would be going into the,
So initially, the budget was $14,000 for a seasonal summer camp director, and the warrant article appropriated an additional $24,000, bringing that to $38,000 total for that line.
I thought there was a specific.
I have a copy of the warrant article if you'd like.
Yep, please.
I'll pass this around as well.
Sounds like the
yeah.
difference is the up to versus.
So it was, yeah, so $38,000 is what was appropriated for the line, and based off of my schedule for 2026, the $34,000 is what it would cost instead of the $38,000. So we're coming in a little less than what was appropriated by the warrant article, and that's just because of my salary. My pay rate is lower than what was appropriated by the warrant article. When Andy put the warrant article in, it was for $25 per hour. I was hired at $22.
And I guess that's my confusion. The warrant seems to insert there a salary, which when you include FICA, Medicare comes out.
That's
to like
because they were looking for full-time, and then they modified it further down.
So yeah, you want to look at the amendment lower than the bottom half of that.
They made it
warrant.
they made it part-time towards the bottom where it
Yeah.
says, article number 8 is amended.
So the original warrant article was for a full-time position, and it was amended by the Recreation Commission to drop it down to a part-time position. So the amendment should be in the bottom half of that warrant article there.
After the bold.
Right, it says 2026 position will become part of the operating budget in ensuing years, and then you have 2026, it looks like a salary of 24,600 was.
That's the increase. We already had $14,000 in the line item, so that brings up to 38,000 total. That was the appropriation in addition to the 14. That's my understanding, at least. I'm learning quite a bit.
He is correct.
Okay,
Because you had the 12, 11, 11, 11.
Well, that's the increase, yeah.
Yeah.
We had $14,000 and
Yeah.
change in 2024, yeah.
Yep.
So,
could have been more artfully worded, but okay.
And then you just basically added it to
The budget.
the budget.
correct, for this year.
Yeah.
So that's the only increase in our budget that you're seeing. We kept the full-time director as is until the board deems otherwise. And everything else, there's some other reallocations of funds, but that's the only increase is just the warrant article.
Why don't you talk about the decreases that you had in here?
Well, so yeah, so we have a reallocation. We don't have a decrease at all.
Well, the electric.
Yep, so we were looking back, my commissioners and I, and saw that we were underspending on our electric and heating and oil each year. So we decided to go ahead and we wanted to reallocate the funds, so a total of $1,700 down to our land maintenance land, which we typically overspend. And if you'd like, I do have our field maintenance costs as well. And it outlines how much our budget covers and then how much the recreation department covers the rest of that.
So your budget is level funded other than the warrant article?
Correct. Correct. And that's
Okay.
it. Technically, we did reduce the budget by $256 because I saw that the math was slightly off for the New Hampshire State retirement for the rec director. So we
Yeah,
did shave
but
off.
we put it back in for Medicare, so
Sorry?
it evens out. But
Sure.
this, what's this?
That's our land maintenance.
Main meat.
So the red line there should be how much is taken out of our budget, and the remainder is paid out of the rec revolving account.
This might be a question for you, Julie. I know that there's this split that everyone keeps talking about between the rec and the town. Is that in writing anywhere?
That, I think we were looking for that. I think there is. It's something that I believe you were researching, Julie, just to make sure that we do have it in writing.
Because it was a
I-
55-45.
Correct, yes.
Because I know that when we had, I don't know if you were there, when we did the site walk with the budget committee, it's strange that that's the only department that has to pay for its own building and its own maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
There
We're
are,
also one of the only departments that have a revolving account,
fire does too.
but they pay for stuff out of it.
Fire.
They pay for
ambulance.
ambulances, they pay for training. They pay-
Sure,
And the
but,
police have, they have one for
Details.
detail.
right, but I bet those are governed by some sort of in-writing contract for what it gets used for and what the town has to cover and what the town doesn't. Or not. In which case, they should all be written down, what is, that's meant to be spent on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is, which I think is kind of weird, which I'll bring up again. I brought it up before. I think it's interesting that we appoint the rec department, but the select board member that's sitting on their board doesn't have a vote. And I don't know why that is.
I don't know. Is
Good
that,
question.
is that the way it's
Mhm.
always been?
To my knowledge, is how it's always been.
It-
Well, I
yeah.
believe
But
Mr.
we-
Morgan was our first ever rec representative.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, to my knowledge, Mr. Morgan never had a vote, and
No.
that's just
But they're-
kind of how it's.
they're
Well, why
appointed
doesn't
by
the
the
select
select
board
board.
have a vote?
If we appoint them to the
You would
board.
have to look at the RSA's.
Yeah, because I know some of them, the select board member doesn't have a vote. It's just a,
I don't know if that's statutory.
I'm just curious why that is, because we appoint.
Well, we could look into it. It's a separate, that's a separate issue,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what we're dealing with now. So
Yep.
let's focus on the budget and what we want to do.
But
with
I'm bringing it
regard
up.
to-
sure.
Should we start with figuring out if we're gonna hire a full-time or part-time person?
I think that's a
I-
preliminary. Yeah, that's a preliminary, sure.
Because that affects the budget
Mhm.
hugely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's pretty much level funded except for that, so.
Thoughts on that?
How many applications do we have? Do we know?
want to say there's a handful, maybe
I believe at least
around
4 I've
5.
heard of, yeah.
Yeah, 4 to 5, something like that.
But we don't know if they're full-time or part-time.
The
Well-
position was posted full-time.
I was like,
Right.
yeah, the original job posting was full-time, so I'd
Okay.
assume that they're looking for full-time.
True, but that, it's putting the cart before the horse. So the
Mhm.
question is what we
Right.
want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So thoughts?
I mean, for me, I think budgeting and everything else, I think I would like to interview for the full-time position. You have somebody come in and we do a needs assessment. I think also when you're interviewing people, then we can kind of play it by ear. If somebody gets in there and does a needs assessment and says, this can be done in less hours, I think that's great. But I think for budgeting wise, I think we need to be prepared to go in looking for full-time and have them do a needs assessment.
We have someone in the audience that wants to make a comment. Yeah, hang on,
Yeah,
you need a
come on up.
microphone.
You can also hand her the mic right there by Julie.
Feel free to sing too. if you want.
You might have to do a me to make sure it's
Can
working.
you hear me?
There you go.
Right.
Perfect.
So I've served on the Recreation Commission for well over a decade now. I've been with it since it was a part-time position with Margaret Dulay. And at that time, we did soccer, baseball, basketball, okay? And the building was somewhat rented and we had very little field rentals. This is no longer just soccer and basketball and baseball. It's maintaining one of the largest, if not the largest, properties in town with multiple buildings on it. The director spends more time fussing with getting 3 estimates for everything that's broken, which the building's getting older. We're doing this all the time. We're doing land improvements. The program coordinator is who's going to actually run the programs. The rec director is really dealing with the building, the facilities. And this is the only department, I think, in town who's completely responsible for their building and all of this. You can't push this to a part-time position, or we're going to have to cut how much we rent it, which is a revenue generator that goes back into services and offerings in the town, because you can't do it anymore. I've watched the department grow and there's too much work. So that's my experience sitting on this board for over, a decade. You can't make this a part-time again, or you're going to have to spend that money somewhere else by having other positions in the town help maintain that property, building and land. So that's my comment to you guys, based off my experience.
And just one of the things Jason just handed out, the projected revenue for this year is $113,736.92. And
Thank you.
that's up significantly.
9,000.
Well, if you look at like from 2021, the 5 years, right, it's gone up sizable.
40,000.
Yeah, so that revolving account pretty much pays for the justification of having a full-time like this.
So I originally asked for us to think about part-time versus full-time because I wanted to get a better understanding of what was needed. I wanted us to think about it, and I wanted proof that we need a full-time person. After talking to several people, listening to others out there, I do think it warrants a full-time person. But I'm glad that we got the clarification that I needed in order to do that.
And I think part of the confusion, again, just resulted from the proposal itself that we had received. So I certainly understand. Yeah, you want to come up? Ms. Hajar.
I'm gonna be up all night.
I will-
So Laura Hajar, 33 Mohawk Lane,
One more.
new rec commissioner.
Laura, hold it up to your mouth.
Okay, so as you know, I'm new to the board, so I don't have a lot of experience with the amount of work that is involved with the current breadth of programming, and I believe Val has already covered the specifics. But what I can tell you in the short time I've been there is that I am blown away by the number of people who use the rec. They serve multi-generational residents across Brentwood. I think one important thing I've seen beyond the commitment of Jason and the Rec Commission is the value for our tax dollar at rec. And with the right person as director, we can see some critical growth. There's space for growth in sponsorships that our part-time interim director does not have the bandwidth to capitalize upon. And they're currently close to matching dollar for tax dollar, and through their revolving account. And through my early assessment, there are places to increase dollars coming in outside of tax dollars, but not without a full-time director. And as the town no longer pays for a grant writer, I volunteered to research and write grant applications for the rec department. And this is another way to increase funding for needed projects, which saves tax dollars. But I'm gonna need someone who I can work with on this. And finally, I've recruited volunteers for one of the smaller construction projects needed, and I believe we can do more of that. But in order for these volunteer efforts to come to fruition, we need the right director with the time to serve the residents of Brentwood and Rec Department. So that's just what I've seen in the time I've been there.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Melissa has.
oh, sorry. Come on up.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, you can
In
sit.
a separate chair.
Thank you. So my name is Melissa Litchfield, Eleanor's Way. First, I wanted to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm speaking as a fiscal conservative, which I'm sure doesn't surprise any of you. I wanted to share how much I and many others are so grateful for the robust recreation program that we have here in Brentwood. For anyone that's questioning the programs, and I've been hearing this actually over the past several months, you know, we need the data, we need to see what's actually happening. And I say this with the utmost respect and love, but I urge people to go visit the soccer fields on a Saturday morning in the fall, the softball fields on a hot summer weeknight, the gym at Swayze on a weeknight or Saturday morning, just to see the kids playing basketball, the senior lunches, or even a hot summer day at the Brentwood Rec property to see the kids at summer camp, our 4th of July parade. And I can look around at most of us, and our kids participated in so many of these programs. And I even missed some of the programs that we had before. We had charter buses to Foxwoods, Red Sox games. We had the outdoor movie night. And I know people have mentioned volunteers. It sounds good in theory, but not in reality. It always sounds good to volunteer, and it's hard to find time. I just wanted to tell you all that I just so appreciate how affordable everything is for families in town. I was a stay-at-home mother of 4 for years and have been a civil servant for the past 12 years or so. Between the Friends of the Library and the Brentwood Recreation Department, they have provided us with such incredible summers due to the programming that was either free, discounted, or at a reasonable cost for residents. I just wanted to say thank you. I know you all have supported our recreation department in the past, and I just ask that you please continue to do so, and thank you for all that you do. I don't envy the position that you're in this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't envy it either. Well,
I'm gonna make a motion to keep the rec director full-time and accept the budget of $137,563.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Jason, in terms of interviews, because we got to start that process.
Sure.
And I was waiting until tonight to do so. Is there someone on your board who is willing to participate in that interview process, or is that something that you want the select board to do?
I believe my vice chair on my committee, or my commission, sorry, Jim McIntyre, he's a recruiter professionally, and so he's offered his support in helping with this process.
Does, I don't know if he wants to do those initial interviews by himself, although I would suggest that he do that with probably one of us.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And I'm willing to help out if my schedule is available to.
There are only
However
a
I
handful of them, though. There's only a handful, though, right? It sounds like
It's
so far.
approximately
4 or 5.
5, yeah.
Val?
That feels.
So what we did in the past, the last couple times we've hired between Andy and David, replacing Margaret, because we always had a select board member or the town administrator. So either of those would work. So an official town person and then a rec person.
Do you care to do it, being on the liaison, Bob, or no?
I'm perfectly fine doing it. I'm pretty busy with work, but I can do that if you want to do the initial, and then we can move on to the secondary after that. It's fine.
I think
Meaning-
either Julie or a select board member should sit on the initial and then
Yeah, I don't have a problem sitting on the initial. You've
Right.
seen me go through
Yep.
some interview processes. I'm not
shy.
gentle.
Yeah, and I think, like,
All right, so
It
you
was
and,
fine.
you and Mr. McIntyre.
Yep, that's
All
fine.
right, so make sure that those guys link together, and then we'll be all set.
and I think if that's not sustainable, I think Julie is a great alternative if select board
Or
members.
I'm willing to do so, as well, if Bob,
Yeah, if I can't do it
has a
because of work,
conflict or something, so,
Good.
we'll figure it out.
okay. Just make sure Mr. McIntyre gets in touch with us.
Thanks, Phil.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Okay,
And then we need to also, while he's here, I'd like to talk about their furnace.
I believe it's something that's correct, yeah.
Come on up. You're not
All
released
right.
yet.
I have
Seat's
that.
still warm.
All right,
Water's warm, jump on in.
Right.
is the furnace warm is the question.
yes, that's the big question right now.
It's on the
It's,
edge.
So,
yeah, it's
For
almost
years
over the
now,
edge.
the Recreation Commission or the Rec Department has had, actually, I think this one needs to get passed around too. Has had the furnace on our capital improvement plan.
True.
Because I believe when Andy started here, he was saying that Kip was telling him that it's on its last leg, you need to look out for this. We managed to drag it out at least 8 years, which is how long Andy was here at his capacity as the recreation director. And finally, we're at the point where we need to start looking at this. The proposal I've sent around was the one of 3 that we brought to the commission. The commission approved this quote or proposal. Sorry.
I'm gonna clarify. So there was 2 proposals that came from Wick Wenzel and one that came from
KNS.
KNS. Rick Wenzel's does 24-hour servicing and everything else. The 2 proposals, there was one that was a lower grade furnace, and then this one was comparable to the other one that KNS was also quoting.
The difference between the lowest quote we got and the highest quote was $2,000. So they're all very close in approximation.
The other thing is the one that we decided to, as a board, go with has an extensive, like they've been around for years. The other one has not. They're more of a plumbing company. So that's why Ryan on our board knows that company. He's worked with them before. So they are someone where we could count on them with the 24-hour service if something were to go,
Is this a comparable furnace to the one that is
So-
being replaced?
To my understanding, the one that currently we have a single unit in the Brentwood Recreation Center, and it's being stretched between the 2 floors at the Recreation Center. This proposal is splitting it into 2 systems that will fit in the same 2 smaller units, but one will cover the upper level, one will cover the lower level, which should also help with the shelf life of the furnace long term.
One of the things we also talked about was getting thermostats that can actually give them an alert. I actually like the 2 units because then if one goes down, at least I have another one that's operational. When I have a building that
Especially as a
size.
safety complex as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I was about to go there, yeah.
It's this is emergency shelter that
Right.
we utilize too, so I think it's just beneficial. And I like the fact that they'll be able to get thermostats that he can monitor or the board can monitor, or we can monitor too, from a cell phone. So that was something that I thought was a plus. That's something that they would be looking into, making sure that that's in there. And
I believe I did reach out to Rick, or I believe it's Tom from Rick Wenzel. He was saying that I think it's an additional $600 per thermostat, or you can just buy your own and he can install them at a lower cost.
And we had talked about, if they had to, potentially, we would approve for the board to try to, and I believe the money's in there.
You're beating me to it, but yes.
Yeah, so then
And what-
they would pay for the difference out of the.
We're looking for money
are
from
you-
the capital reserve fund for public buildings or town-owned buildings, up to $40,000.
How much is in there?
130,000?
Great.
So
Motion.
I was gonna make a motion for the up to $40,000, because I don't know, a lot of times when you start getting in there.
Second.
I think that it would be prudent to have them also purchase and install the thermostats. I don't think that we should get into that, because if there is a problem, then it would be covered by
Mhm.
them.
Right.
It's not, oh, well, you did that, you
Yeah.
know, so,
I was gonna offer.
You're offering me to go over there and do it?
stick to being a lawyer.
I can go install them if you would like, but I don't want the
40,000 is
liability.
enough money to do that.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I think 40,000 is enough, and one of the things that when we had our meeting last week is the board knows that if they had to, they could also go into their revolving account to pay the difference that would go over 40,000, so that's why the motion was to go up to 40,000.
Okay. There's a second, and
Yep, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
All righty, thank you very much.
Run,
all set.
Thank you.
All right.
run while you can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell Jim he owes me. Give him my number, please.
Joint loss? Julie?
This should be an easy one.
I would hope so.
I make a motion for.
$2.
Yep, motion,
Second.
For what?
joint.
$2
loss.
for joint loss.
Oh, okay.
Anybody want the paper?
No. Thanks for printing it, though.
The print costs $2.
I want my $2.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we have fire. Before we get to old business, come on up, Roy. This is like a preliminary to fire being on the agenda for later on. So,
Yeah, so we can get an idea of what you guys are looking at. Hopefully you got some handouts.
I do.
I like handouts.
All right, I'll remember that. How many-
While we have a break, Roy, I just want to say it was a well-put-together event this afternoon.
Yes, yeah. We celebrated
Yep.
Chief Joe Bird's retirement today. Well done, Roy, and Katerina and everybody else.
Yeah, it
That
was,
was involved.
the association put a lot of effort and time into it.
It was great, yeah.
I just helped.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go, but that's how it works. Unfortunately, it worked.
Yep. So,
I was hoping, and I'm gonna start, just because I'm looking at this real quick.
Yep.
I was actually hoping that we would see a reduction. And I was hoping that this budget would come in under $1 million, but that's me. I'm shocked to see there's
so
almost 14%.
I would like to explain one part of it that I'm not sure maybe everybody is remembering. You guys voted in the extra 12 hours for the per diem shift last year that we covered out of the monies that were left in the budget last year and part of the full-time salaries that weren't being spent from not having employees. But in '26, the town was supposed to pick up that 4,800 plus hours of per diem labor that is involved. So that increased the budget all by itself, just by 7.85%, with me not even touching it. Yeah.
And again, it was my understanding that when we voted that, Roy, it was based on that was available within the budget, not that. we were
Last
gonna-
year,
not-
yes.
Yeah, but not that we were gonna end up with a consequential increase.
That's not what that was not the way it was explained to me by the board when I was hired or by Joe. So I can only go by what I was told and what the TA and you guys led me to believe. I mean, we can look in the minutes, but it was my understanding that you guys were gonna be picking up that extra 12 hours because the town wanted to have a minimum of 2 people staffed in the station at all times.
So my concern is that since 2000, and I think Julie has these numbers, you want to share them, but since 2022, we're looking at a over 70% increase in the fire budget from 2024 to 25, there was a approximate $250,000 increase.
Sorry, do you have papers to go with those numbers? Because I'm trying to write them down and it's not going. Yes, please. If you have a paper that,
I can't honestly go back that far because I don't really know without looking at it. I can tell you that every town has been struggling going from volunteer call services and slowly not having any more volunteers and not having any call people. And I know that's what happened here. You guys transitioned out of having call people, and then you were doing per diem during the day and stipend at night, and then nobody was filling the stipend at night anymore other than like 1 or 2 people, so you had a bunch of holes continuously where stuff wasn't getting covered.
what year did we vote
So
to have?
2022, we had
Thank you.
2 full-time people.
That was the question that I had.
Yeah.
Before 22, it was none.
Right. We added 2 more full-time firefighters. We've added a 32-hour EMS coordinator. We've added a 40-hour secretary or admin assistant,
Yeah.
sorry, Katerina, who can also respond to calls. Plus, we increased per diem staffing to cover the station at night. So we've increased a crap ton of hours between 22 and 25. So that's the biggest difference. I mean, just 2 full-time firefighters is 200,000.
Yeah, but last year,
Because the
we
average is
inc-
100,000 each.
last year, we increased the budget by
37% goes towards retirement.
approximately 250,000. I really, it would have been
That was
my,
for the 2 more people.
right, it had been my understanding that that was gonna be an endpoint, not a springboard for additional.
I'm not saying I currently agree with
No.
the current budget, but I'm saying
No, I
that's
understand what
why
happened.
between 22 and 25 is such a difference, because
Yep.
the department has totally evolved from a call department to a staff
I
department.
think last year when we were talking about adding those 2 other full-time positions, Chief made it very clear that we are not fully staffed still.
We're a bare minimum staffing. We have 2 people 24/7. We can get an ambulance out the door, and a fire truck can get out the door, but you need 3 people on a fire truck to actually start fighting a fire. You have to have a driver, pump operator, and then you have to have 2 people to go in the building.
Am I looking at this right, that you have 4 lieutenants and 1?
No,
Firefighter?
I wrote it in that way, due to multiple conversations that I've had with every member on the board except for you about shifting, no cost, but just shifting titles, around. It hasn't been finalized, but I just wrote it in there for me to have an understanding of how it works.
Was that when you asked about
I
instead
had
of
already
having a
asked
deputy?
before, but then that person pulled out because he didn't feel comfortable coming here due to no pay scale, no insurance buyback, and a couple of other things that he was getting where he works, and he just didn't feel comfortable that I was gonna be able to acquire any of those things anytime in the near future, so then he decided not to come here and pulled out of the process after we hired him. So I've been looking for a new person for the last opening that we have, and trying to find somebody to fill that slot, which I have maybe been able to do.
Does this budget include a deputy as part of?
It does.
Okay.
You guys voted that in last year, as it was explained to me, so as far as
That
I,
was transitional for you to,
that's not the way it was explained to me.
Yeah.
explain by whom?
I think once
By,
we create the
by the
position.
TA and multiple of you, actually. I've had a conversation with everybody except for Bob about transitioning it down to a lieutenant spot. Is that what would be best for the town as a whole? Not me. But for coverage and the holes, it would be better to have it as a lieutenant and having him cover where I need coverage, so that I know that I have a qualified person sitting in the seat protecting the town. And I've spoken to all 4 of you about this, and I asked you your thought process, if you agreed with me, and if you would be okay with me doing it. And all of you said yes. So if there was a misunderstanding, then I'm sorry, but I mean, that's kind of what I talked to you guys about. That I wanted to actually try to save the town money by dropping the position from deputy. Originally, there was talk about dropping it to a captain to save money. And then I actually came up with the idea of dropping it all the way to a lieutenant and just making them, educating them higher and making that clear to anybody we hired that we would expect more from them.
That wasn't my understanding. I mean, my understanding was, 2 lieutenants.
Yep.
And that the deputy position was not going to be backfilled once you were promoted.
At no point in time was that ever explained to me, not by the TA.
So you're saying you talked to all of us except for Bob? Did
Yeah.
he not talk to you about that, Paul?
I don't have a recollection of that conversation.
So I had a conversation with the TC and we talked about it and I explained to him that the deputy chief's position was not intended to be filled going forward. And then he brought up the idea of a captain or lieutenant, and I asked him if he really needed it to support his administration. He said, yes. Obviously, the difference between a lieutenant and a DC should be $30,000.
Probably, yeah.
So, but the administration is only down 2,000, so.
I think what I heard you say, and if I'm mistaken, correct me, that we created the DC position, and so if we don't want to fill it, we have to uncreate it.
Well, we just have to not fill it.
No, we have to not have the position.
No, you just would hire for a firefighter. I need less chiefs and more workers. That's my thought.
I don't disagree with you. I'm saying we created the position as a board. Wouldn't we then have to say, I make a motion that we eliminate the deputy chief position and add another slot for a firefighter instead?
Before we do that, we need to promote the current DC before we hire him.
Yes, but I guess my point is that isn't that what we would need to do?
We could do that, yes.
Okay.
Or we could just not fill it, but if you take it out of the budget, essentially you're getting rid of it.
So I don't
Exactly.
know if
Yeah, I
it
don't-
works
I don't
that
know.
way because my understanding is that a fire chief, like a police chief, like there's like, we can give him money or not, but he gets to decide how he spends it.
Correct.
So if we eliminate the position,
So eliminated. That's fine.
that's what I'm,
Yeah, no,
but also making it clear that you could hire somebody out at the lower. Maybe.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
But we wouldn't be appointing him until next week, until after Joe Bird.
Oh, okay.
which is the end of the week.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fine.
Yeah, it's
Just
next Friday.
This Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right,
This
today's
Thursday.
28th, so this Thursday.
So next select board,
I was not expecting that we were gonna make a
Well, the
decision on this
31st.
budget tonight,
All right.
so I figure we
No,
have.
Are
some
you
this
time.
guys
is- this is
having, are
preliminary.
you guys having a meeting on November 4th? Because it's
Yes.
voting thing? Because originally I was told that you guys weren't really gonna be coming in and doing anything.
There's no election that day.
We still come in on the 4th.
Okay. Because there were some people asking me, because they want to be here for my swearing in, and I didn't know what to tell them.
I don't
Come on
believe
in.
we have elections this November.
Okay.
Next year on November 4th. Every 2 years.
Hopefully we'll be doing rec interviews that day, since I'm off.
So-
That's my volunteer time that way.
I don't see this, as deeply as you do, Bob, as something coming in under $1 million. But again,
That's my goal.
no, I know it's your goal, but I do have an issue with
Can I
another
ask- oh.
$168,000 on, as a change on top of, all
Yep.
the other.
I can explain every thought process behind it, but obviously, maybe we had some misunderstandings here. Like I said, it was my understanding that position was still gonna be filled, when I came in as chief, because it's a lot to ask for one person administratively to do all that work. And I know the town as, residents doesn't seem large, but you have a large, fire protection district that has to be covered between the industrial, between owning the county seats and all the buildings and all that comes with that, the dragway, and also you have the 125 corridor that creates a lot of incidents. Like today, at 4 o'clock, we had to go out and put out a car fire and put out, transport 2 people to the hospital.
Sorry, when you say own county, you mean that the county complex resides in Brentwood, and therefore we don't actually own the county stuff.
No, you guys don't own it,
Okay.
but we have to protect it.
Gotcha.
It's in our district,
And we don't receive anything from the county on that.
I don't even argue with that. I am trying to figure out a way to change that, but I haven't been sitting in the seat long enough to actually have
Make yourself
time.
dangerous.
Yes.
Can you clarify something for me? I've seen the call data, and there are a number of, and I forget the terminology, but you head out on a mutual aid and then you get called down on it and return.
We are auto-aided to Kingston, Fremont, and Epping. More Kingston and Epping do we get auto-aided because they have a lot more calls. Fremont only has
Sorry,
maybe.
what does
150.
auto-aided mean?
Sorry. Auto mutual aid, what it means is they are low-staffed, we are low-staffed. So what happens is when they get dispatched to, let's say, a car accident,
Mhm.
they send their ambulance out and they might get an engine out, but probably not. So then we go out with the engine at the same time. We get dispatched when they get dispatched.
Automatically.
Something that you
Automatic,
that's
yes.
something that you decide, or they call?
No,
they
it's
tell you?
it's Rockingham Dispatch. It's already written into their protocol. Epping auto aids us and we auto aid them. It's a mutual aid agreement that we have all come up with and use because we need the protection of the engine because people drive like crazy on roads and everybody's in a hurry to get somewhere and
Yep.
they don't care about us.
Right.
And so you need something for protection. So a lot of times if they can get their engine out and their ambulance out, then they'll go, okay, you can cancel Brentwood, we don't need them. We actually have an engine and we can handle our own call. And we will do that for them too. If we have enough people sitting around and we can get 2 pieces out and we can handle it, then we'll cancel them. So yeah, we get dispatched automatically, even if we're not needed. It just depends on how quickly they realize that they don't need us.
And it looks like we go out a lot more for other people than other people do for us.
We are 3-1 right now, but that's because we're sandwiched in between Epping and Kingston. So we go to Kingston and Epping. And then they come to us also, but it just looks because we're auto aid to 2 bigger entities that have a lot of incidents.
So my question is, can we ask for more mutual aid to come to us?
Especially if you got Rock Center and you got everything with the.
Yeah. Anytime we can't handle anything, we ask them to come. So.
Are they auto dispatched? Like you
well, like
are?
I said, for any auto accidents, fires, smoke investigations, but not like ambulance calls or anything like that. We try to handle all that because ultimately we have a revolving fund. The more of our own ambulance calls that we can handle, the more money goes back in the revolving fund. That takes the pressure off the taxpayer of having to have pay for anything on the EMS side of the funding.
So you said that when Epping gets a call,
Yep.
you automatically dispatches you.
Yes.
And when we get a
On
call,
certain types of calls.
when we have a call, do they
Same thing,
automatically
yes.
dispatch Epping
Absolutely.
and Kingston?
Depends on what side of the town it is.
Fair.
Right. So, to a fire, yes, but an auto accident, it just depends on what side of the town it is. So it might be Epping or it might be Kingston.
So just to clarify,
Yeah, I don't.
we're getting the same benefit as Epping and Kingston.
Yeah.
The problem is Epping isn't going to Kingston, we are. So
Yeah.
it kind of, the numbers look askew because we're in the middle. We're the monkey in the middle. But technically, it really is not costing us anything because we're not paying callback time, which a full-time department would be calling back people,
Yeah.
the staff to station while the engine's out.
Yeah.
So these people are there working anyways. So if they get canceled, that's fine. They get another call, they can go on it. It doesn't cost the town any more money to provide this. When, like the call today, I'm sure Epping went auto to it.
Yep.
And you needed their help, obviously.
Absolutely. Yep.
So it's not costing us money. It's actually a good thing for the town. It keeps the firefighters up on their skills because they're not sitting around the station. They're going out, they're doing things. And B, we're also receiving the same benefit.
Yeah.
I hope I explained that right.
No, you are correct. There are a lot of days that we can't actually give aid. We're already on a call. So then our manpower is gone. So there are a lot of days where we also tell them that we can't help them at that moment in time, and then they have to call somebody else. Everybody is stretched in, and nobody has the correct manpower. I mean, ultimately, in the end, even Exeter had to come in today and with another ambulance and help us. So we even called Exeter over.
Were you done?
I'm done.
Okay.
For now.
Just responding to something Paul had said, because I was pretty sure that last year, and you weren't here, so sorry, the chief had talked about how we were trying to get to, I think the technical number we're supposed to have is like 8, which that's clearly never going to happen in Brentwood. But
Yep.
like, what is the goal for number of people on shift?
Well, when I came and interviewed with the select board, I had stated my goal would be to try to get 3 people in the station ultimately, so that I know that I'm getting a fire engine out in the first 5 minutes of the fire. Because if I only have 2 people, we have to wait for mutual aid. And all we're doing is standing there, and people are very unhappy with you when their house is on fire, when you're standing there and you can't do anything. I mean, you're putting it in pump, you're stretching a line, but you're waiting. And that looks bad all the way around. It's a bad optic.
Yeah, you cannot send one firefighter into a
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
so right, so you can't send one firefighter into a building, so we would have to wait. And like I said, everybody is stretched in and everybody's always running calls, so who knows if it's actually Epping, on the Epping side who's coming. It might be Kingston, it might be Lee. So it could take 15 minutes, and fire spreads and doubles every 60 seconds, right? So we've been really lucky lately. We've had extra people at the station, like on South Station, we had 3 guys. We were able to hit that fire and we kept their house. Or they would have lost the second floor if it had only been 2 people, because it took another 5 minutes for everybody else to show up. So that was, and everybody, I mean, I explained that I'm gonna try to write grants, maybe per diem staffing, but that was my goal, to try to get 3 people on the station ultimately.
So we currently have 2.
2, yes. And that is the bare minimum. You can get an ambulance out the door, but you can drive a fire truck out the door, but you can't actually really do anything.
And then I'm sorry, I don't remember this exactly, but adding one more isn't adding one more person. It's adding 4 more people.
If you did it full-time, but I can already see that that is a big stretch at this moment in time. So it would probably be easier just to add a per diem at a lot lesser of a cost, and go that route.
So is that something that you
It's not in there at this point in time.
understood?
No, because
Understood.
That would
I-
be a warrant article, I'm assuming.
Huh?
I mean, I would put that as a warrant article to see if the people want to.
yeah, I figured if you guys were okay with going down that route at this moment, because again, the whole 4% tax cut hadn't happened when all this was talked about. So this was a whole new thing that got thrown into that ultimately I don't, not sure how to deal with at this moment. So I understand. I'm not trying to wreak havoc. I'm just.
So I understand that, Roy, and this is a very difficult thing because obviously the town's safety is of the utmost importance. It's a very difficult thing. Me being first year in here and looking at this stuff, I can tell you it's a very difficult balancing act between, safety and money, right? I mean, when it comes down to it, and so it's tough. It's very tough.
I think Melissa said she doesn't envy us.
Yeah, no.
And,
Yeah,
and
I mean-
unfortunately, with the tariffs and the way the fire trucks have gone, and I don't know if you guys have been watching the news,
Try not.
one big company bought a lot of other companies and has been slowing down production of fire trucks
Yeah, fire truck manufacturer.
and has created a
Cool.
huge jam, and it's parts labor, everything's gone through the roof. And there's a congressional hearing on it, and they're trying to fix it, but you know how long that's gonna take. So right now, and we've had an aging fleet. One of our engines is now 15 years old, and it's had a lot of problems this year. And it's cost us a good chunk of change out of our maintenance budget.
How long are they supposed to last for, approximately?
Technically, NFPA says frontline for 20 years.
Okay.
A lot of smaller towns will push it to 25.
Sure.
You really should do some kind of rehab somewhere in there to make sure that it lasts till 25 years. But we got lucky here. The other trucks that you guys had lasted a lot longer than that. The trucks that they're building nowadays, not so much.
Yeah.
I think the
More technology too, so.
Yeah.
the issue is not really the equipment. It's really just I think maybe some clarification or maybe some
Yep.
misunderstanding in terms of the labor.
Yep.
cost.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and I know Paul brought this up earlier, the 24 to 26, just, that's a 77% increase over 2022, right? I think that's
22.
what you had. That's a sizable
How many
increase.
full-time employees did we have in 2022? Is that what you just talked about, or is that
Yeah.
the year
Yeah.
after that?
Yeah.
The year after
it's-
that, it went to 991.
Unfortunately, everything started falling apart with the call and stipend side in 2022 in Brentwood. That's when everything really just started not working, and they had to figure out a way to fix it. People just, as they talked about, don't have time to volunteer anymore. We have 2 people that live in town that could be call people, but they want to work shifts and get paid like everybody else, so we moved them to the per diem side. And they're doing the same thing, just they're getting paid for it. And that's kind of, right now, we're a full-time per diem department. I've had 3 people come and ask if they can be call members, and then they start doing the paperwork, and then they just fade into oblivion, and they just don't show up. And we don't even see them by the time we get the paperwork done.
Can I just ask for clarification on something? And I'm sorry if everyone else understands this. There's
Yep.
a line called salaries.
So, all right.
The first line, 110, and then the next one down is wages for full-time firefighters.
Yep, well, the salary line is for per diems,
And per diems are basically
temporary
temps?
employees, yeah.
Temps.
They give us availability when they can work. And a lot of them like to work, 24 hours a week. Some only want to work maybe 1 or 2 shifts a month because they just want to keep their skills up and they want to keep their EMT or firefighter certs because
amazing
they don't
how
do
that's
it full
higher.
time. But so right now we have about 30, 35 of them, and that's how many it takes just to fill 24 hours.
Wow.
So if we were to add another per diem slot, I would need to hire another 30 people just to make sure that I have the right amount of people to make that
Because they can
cover.
just say no when you call
Well,
them.
a lot of them work at fire departments. They can get held over, and then they can't leave. So then they bang out at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we gotta scramble and try to fill that spot. Some of them get a 24-hour overtime shift the day before they're supposed to be on shift with us, and unfortunately, because they're per diem, their loyalty is where are they gonna make more money?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not, it's nothing against them, because that's just how it's always been. I mean, I've been dealing with per diems for 20 years, and I've been one almost my whole career as second and third jobs. And that's just the nature of the business, ultimately.
So I hope this isn't, but it's basically like a temp.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
committed to us in any way.
Right, but I have to say this. The per diems that Brentwood has are very invested in this system. They really like it here. They have a good culture. It amazes me to see how invested these people are in this system. So,
We have some here tonight.
yes,
Yeah,
And we had a ton that chose.
yeah.
yes, no,
Yeah, he created, from what happened from the previous chief to now, because I have always paid attention to this town, because I've always felt it to be very special, and Joe was a mentor to me, and so was Lemoyne on a lot of things on how to be a correct officer, and I brought that with me everywhere I went. Everybody really, really likes this place, and they all come back at some point in time and work per diem here because they really just love this place. and they love Joe. He created a really good working environment for them. And culture is a metric, whether people believe it or not. It's very hard to build a solid culture.
Hopefully you plan on continuing that.
So
As Michael,
I'm just looking at the 22 to 23 to 24. It looks like there were more per diems in 2022. That line had $250,000 on it. The full-time only had 100 and change. And then in 2023, that's the year, or that 2023 was the year that the new full-timers got rolled in. I'm looking at you. I'm
We
so sorry.
tried to,
Yep.
yes.
So that line doubled because, and the per diem line went, or the temp line went down.
in 2023, a lot of people started doing wage adjustments around the per diem systems to try to, because everybody is looking for per diems now, and there's only a certain amount of people. So everybody started doing mass wage adjustments, and now it's a competition. Who's on the top, who's mediocre, and who's low. And as soon as you start falling into that mediocre line, some of them will just move on to where they get paid better. And there's always, you know, I mean, that's just how it goes. People just want to go where they get paid.
That's business.
Yeah. So you can't fault them, and that's just how it happens. So every once in a while, you'll see a dip, and then you'll get more, and then you'll lose some. It's up and down.
So I guess my question would be, just Bob, you had said that you wanted to get something under $1 million.
That's my goal on top of my head.
Sure. Do you have thoughts about how that might happen? That's
Well,
quite
I
far
still
from.
have to dig into, I'm looking at, like, you know, I was here 2.5 years ago, and I
Mm-hmm.
know what the budget was 2.5 years ago, and now I'm looking at it going, make it make sense. So
Yeah.
I hadn't seen any numbers yet.
Okay.
If you want me to look at it real quick,
No,
I
no,
go
No.
I didn't know.
shave it down to under.
I didn't know if
a
you
million.
had,
No,
if
that-
you
that's
had
not-
a
and
thought.
No, that's
that-
not the
Well,
point
here,
of
these-
today.
we-
This was
we
a
made-
preliminary,
This is a
this was
preliminary, so-
preliminary.
I-
Yep.
I just,
I wanted to make sure I gave you all the lines.
Yep.
And I apologize, you know, there were some emails that were sent to Joe, and I probably should have followed up on them. I was CC'd in them, but he's still chief. And I'm not sure, I should have asked him if he answered them. That's my bad. I should have followed through on that, and I did not. And I guess he thought I followed through on it, because he's leaving, and that's my bad, and I apologize. You know, I didn't mean not to give you guys this. I have no problem explaining every one of these sheets and giving them to you.
Yeah, and see, my thought is I just, first time seeing this.
Yep,
I
yep.
I still would love to see a haircut taken off of there, as I keep using that tonight. That seems to be the going theme for me.
Understood?
Yeah, and I
Just
think,
go back and sharpen your pencil is what I'm looking for.
and obviously, we, look, there are 5 different people here with 5 different,
Yep.
you know, opinions. I mean, I think you have an idea of, you know, what I'm thinking. You
Yep.
probably have an idea of what Letty's thinking,
And now you know
you
how
know?
I'm thinking.
Or ma-
I don't know.
So you maybe have an idea of what Bob's thinking. So I think, you know, we're gonna have to hash this out and,
Yep. Understood.
but, you know, at least we have, you know, numbers now. And,
Bob, just rough math, there's
Yeah.
118 hours more a week now at the fire department than when you were here.
Yep.
And I think the hard thing that I did struggle with is, you know, I mean, as a whole, now we're looking at a tax cap and we're looking at how can we keep these budgets that are coming into us at a relatively, you know, even or at least less than 4%. So it's a very tough thing that we have to deal with. You know, and especially when it comes to such an essential thing, right? So
Yep.
that's where the struggle is for me, obviously, and I think every one of us, so.
Understood.
But
I would
How's
love
the
it.
horse, by the way?
The horse is better now. A lot of gas
I'm a
X.
horse guy, so.
Yeah. We have a pony and a thoroughbred. My daughter does eventing.
So unless there are any other questions, I mean, we do have you on for November 18th. We have some numbers. If there are going to be some questions, you know, I suppose any one of us will reach back out to you. And then we
Yeah,
can go from
I'll
there.
be glad to sit down with any one of you and have a cup of coffee or whatever.
I drink a lot of coffee.
And I think whoever you'd like to invite to the next meeting will do the swearing in.
Oh, right, so that would be November 4th, right? Next Tuesday? I thought we did. Paul already had that conversation.
Yeah, that's a subject for non-public.
Sorry, I just had a quick question.
Yep.
Because I know that over the summer, I think you and Chief Doty the two of you had worked together to come up with that pay scale that Chief Doty was going to use. Are you going to use something like that as well this year?
I have implemented it because it's a lot easier to explain to people, and I've already lost 2 candidates over that I can't show them a pay scale. It's just the industry standard is that they have just a scale. It doesn't. So I want to clarify something because there's a lot of people that seem to just think that they're automatically getting a raise. You hired me to run a department, and if my people aren't doing their job, I'm going to have multiple conversations with them through the year, way before they're getting that raise. They're not going to find out at the end that, hey, you didn't do your job, so you're not getting a raise this year. They have to do their job and they have to perform, and the scale just shows them where they could get to as they move along, and that's really just something so that they can understand as years move on. So can they, and they can, if they perform correctly, then there's an opportunity to make more money. Some departments do pay scales. You get a raise every 2 years, every 3 years, whatever it is, in a step, and they call it a step. They don't call it a merit raise. In this industry, it's called a step. I mean, that's just what
Okay.
it's called. It's a little
That's
different.
what you were talking about, where
Yeah. Yeah,
it's tied to your performance evaluation.
right. But if they don't perform and they're not doing well, they're not getting that money.
How's that
It's-
work in the steps? Is the step linked to years?
No.
Well, one side is years, the other side is what certifications do you have? Because we have to pay them according to certifications. Because you have EMTs, advanced EMTs, and then you have paramedics. You have Fire 1, Fire 2, and then you have pump operators and drivers. And then also we can have an inspector, or you have lieutenants when you start giving them more responsibility, and then captains and deputy chiefs. So there's a grading system that puts them on grade depending on where they fit in and then their years of experience.
But you're not guaranteed.
Yes.
You're not guaranteed
No,
a step.
no.
No, you have to
And
do your job.
if the town feels happier on saying, okay, look, we want to look at your step system every 3 years and we want to maybe adjust it every 2 or 3 years, then so be it. That's fine too. I've worked many places where they'll have a step and it might go 20 years, but every 3 years they look at it and they readjust it according to the time. And a lot of people will only give you a raise like once every 2 years. So you're in a step, but you don't get the next step for 2 years. So, I mean,
My wife works for the university. She hasn't gotten a raise in 5 years.
yep.
Right.
Because they don't give raises.
So we've had a number of conversations,
Could-
Yeah, right.
about whether or not, it's every year at a certain amount. or,
Yes,
so
right.
Yeah.
But I instituted in there, we came up with one, and we put in a number. His is shorter than mine because I have so many more different types of people that I have to fit into it.
Well, there's a
than he
lot,
did,
there's
so-
like different certifications.
Yeah, so, but it's all the same number. His starts where mine starts and his ends at the same. So it's still the same.
So
It's
his,
just-
I'm trying to remember if I still have it. Could I maybe have a copy of yours if that's okay?
Absolutely. I will send it out to you.
Thank you.
Good deal. Anything else for fire today?
Not for today.
No.
All right.
Thank you, Roy.
I
you, Roy.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Old business.
Adrian has completed the MS1, so we can send that off. It just requires signatures.
Do you need a motion for that? Motion for the MS1?
Thank you, guys.
Second. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And when do we get the tax rate?
The auditors have to provide some information. They return next week, but I'm hoping I can get in touch with them while they're elsewhere this week and see if I can.
Can we get a peek at what they think it's gonna come in at? Or when do we get
She
the
can't.
peek? Can't tell us
She can't tell us
until
anything.
DRA sets.
I have a phone appointment with her on Friday morning, so I might know more then. But she
sorry.
couldn't do anything till she knows that's been submitted.
Really quickly, because I know I was curious, the new total valuation in town is $1,209,734,895.
Okay.
What was it before, do you know?
756 last year, I think. Yeah,
Did you say million or
billion.
billion?
Well,
One-
756 million was
Seven
last
fifty-six
year.
billion.
So now we're 1.2,
Billion,
Billion.
almost 1.3,
Yeah.
essentially.
so
But I know,
almost half a million.
I know what they say, my house went up. I'm kind of a little freaking out. And I did touch base with Jim Hajar, and I know he mentioned potentially 1805, which made me have a little shell shock when I did my
He
calculation.
can't
Well, we
possibly,
shouldn't-
we should.
No, it's a
push
rough,
it.
Make any
it's
spec-
very rough.
We should
What I
not
said.
say that.
Yeah.
No numbers.
Well,
We
we
shouldn't
can
make
say
any
it,
speculation.
As long as it's clear that
just
it's
want to
his-
prepare people.
his idea.
So, any other old business?
Yes, it has been mentioned that Chuck was asked to look at the fee schedule for building permits and such, and he has put together a couple documents, his recommendations or proposals, and then this is just what they currently are. He made plenty
My,
of
my
stuff.
suggestion for this is, especially at this hour, is to, review this for purposes of the next meeting. So this will give us a proposal for additional potential revenue from.
This is just the current fee schedule, if you want to compare it to what he's proposing.
Okay, thank you.
This is current,
Correct.
Yes, off of the website.
effective 11/2020.
What's that?
This says effective 11/2020. Is that accurate?
That's when it became effective, presumably.
It's probably time for a
Yes.
revamp then.
Or more.
Well, that's the current schedule.
Just so you can compare it to what he's
Do
proposing.
you know what the timeline, if any, is for building permits switching over to Avatar?
I do not. I'll have to check with Jillian. I think she had talked to them, to Avatar, and I'll follow up with her on that.
Okay. So it'd be great to have everything on one system.
Anything else?
So, do you, huh?
Just review.
Oh, okay. I
Take
was,
it home, digest it.
Yeah.
well, let's go.
Here and now.
No. No.
I'd like to move things
No.
forward, so. And I just want to find out how quick could we implement these if we do that?
Immediately,
They would go immediately?
right?
Whenever we
Just
set
vote-
the
we
date.
vote on it
Okay.
as of.
Yeah, I mean, we
effective as
might,
of whatever date.
but again, this is probably for further discussion, we might want to consider, giving some period of time, 30 days, 60 days, I don't know.
Okay.
But anyways. Anything else, Julie?
I don't have anything else for
Okay.
old business.
You have old business?
I do.
Okay.
So I had brought up last week that Social Security Administration was gonna announce their COLA for 2026, and they did yesterday, I think. It was 2.8%, so I would like, I guess, to make a motion that the select board adopt a 2.8% COLA for the year of 2026.
I'm still a firm believer in merit, not COLA, but that's me.
So without a COLA, people are taking pay cuts every year.
You've already put a placeholder in of 3%, and we've been approving, that.
Right,
And-
I'm asking to remove the placeholder and exchange it for an actual number.
Yeah, but the principle, I think, as Bob has, set forth, is that, you either believe in, a lockstep COLA, or you believe that it should be based on, some level of merit, so.
So I think merit is separate from COLA. If people on Social Security get COLA, it's because,
Well, if you're going to go by that, what was the COLA last year? If you want to have that discussion. What was the COLA last year? Because I got a
I actually-
1.2% raise.
I have no idea.
So
I
I didn't
can
need
look it
COLA
up.
last year, so I took a pay cut?
Yes, you did.
That's industry standard. That's-
All right, so there's a motion to, and again, we can discuss it further, but there's a motion to adopt a 2.8% COLA. Is there anyone who wants to second that motion?
I would amend that to, based on performance, an employee can receive up to 2.8% increase.
Sorry. So historically, we've separated COLA from merit increases.
We have.
If, if, if we are not matching inflation, which the point of a COLA is, then we are paying people less.
If they're doing their
Hold on.
job.
Hold on, I'm speaking, please let me finish. If we don't keep up with it, then in 5 years, we're gonna have to do a giant wage adjustment again.
What if
We're-
doing
we're
the
not-
job And they're getting,
Yeah, we're not going to
Merit
have to do
raises.
anything we don't feel is appropriate to do, so. So, do you want to formally amend that to 2.8% based on performance, Andy? Is that what I'm
Up to
understanding? Your
2.8?
Up to 2.8,
Yeah, based on performance.
Who will make that determination?
The managers.
department heads.
They make the recommendation, it comes before us.
So it's just, so I wanna be clear here. Historically, we have had a COLA and a separate scale for merit based on performance.
Yeah, Letty, we understand. We understand the concept.
Right, why are you interrupting?
Okay. go ahead.
You are saying that you would like to not do that anymore.
Not every year.
For the
Last year, I believe it was just 3%. We didn't offer a 3% plus a 3%.
I thought you
We
did
did,
5% last
so
year.
last year we did. It
Oh,
was
3 and 2.
3 and 2, and the 2 was based on performance reviews. It was a 1 through 5, right? If they got a 1, it was this. If they got a 2, it was this. I'm just trying to understand.
I think the problem is this year we have to review what we're spending on salaries. We've worked and I understand you don't want to get behind, but if we're at least giving them the cost of living of 2.8,
Mhm.
which is based on merit, not an automatic, then we're staying even.
Let me rephrase the question. What are we telling department heads to do with this information?
Just, I think it's clear and unambiguous that raises would be at 2.8%,
Up to.
up to 2.8% based on performance. I mean,
So if I'm a bottom performer, I might only get 1% or no raise. If I'm a good performer,
Why do we
probably
have
gonna get
employees
2.8.
that are bottom performers?
you are always gonna have a scale. You're never gonna have,
So well, this is what I'm saying. We don't have that.
Stellar.
This is what I'm saying. We have not historically done it that way, where we organize all employees, and these are the top ones, and these are the bottom ones. It's within my understanding is it's been individual departments. So a department could have all stellar employees.
it could.
Well, actually, we do organize employees. We give them performance reviews. And that shows
Right, but
normally that all of our employees are well deserving of the top performance or top raise.
all I'm saying is that as opposed to past years, the department heads have received no information about how they should proceed with raises, COLA merit or otherwise, or performance reviews.
I thought that's what we were just doing.
and we had a placeholder before of 3%. So now I agree with Andy's edification of the motion. And I'll second his motion to go up to 2.8 on the performance.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm a no.
Can you explain why?
I don't need to.
No, you don't need to, but
He doesn't have to if he doesn't want to.
I know, but maybe I'd agree with him if you told me why. Maybe we can talk about it after.
All right, moving right along, committee updates. The only thing I have is that we did the new, and I mentioned this earlier, we did the Noonie Munger transaction on Thursday, so we have that parcel in our inventory for conservation purposes.
And we have all the invoices and everything else in for that already, or no? Or are they pending?
I think a lot of those were, I'd have to check, I think a lot of those were taken care of
Okay.
already.
Okay, so that'll be reconciled in the
Yep.
whole conservation
yeah.
budget?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
Want me to go?
please.
All right. Spoke to New England Dragway. They had a good year this year, despite the rain at the beginning of the season. And I spoke to them about the incoming chief, and they're anxious to, we're going to set up a meeting once he's sworn in, hopefully, and have a nice conversation and introduction. Spoke with Wayne about the vehicle maintenance, the repairs that are being done, as we mentioned earlier. And everything seems to be on track with them, getting ready for winter. I want to, again, congratulate Chief Joe Bird on his retirement after 37 years in this town. Well-deserved, and thank you for your service. And just working with the incoming chief to make sure that everything's ready, and we're hopeful that he will be sworn in soon. That's all I have.
The only thing I want to follow up is, Julie, did you get a chance to, or did Suburban ever call you back?
They left a message on Mark's phone today, so I need to call them back tomorrow.
They were close.
Just
So close.
12 feet away. Rec, we already addressed all that, so we're good.
Yeah, we had a budget committee meeting last night. The chair expressed frustration because he felt like he hadn't received what they had requested. We figured out the best way to get him that information because he had wanted the pay information, who's supposed to get that to him and when. We approved some of the budgets. Let me see if I can figure out some of the smaller ones that don't have as much going on and no people, or like we approved. Yeah. There was a motion last night to cap any COLA raises at 2.6% or 2.8% to match federal. It was not my motion. I suggest that we wait until the board discuss it. So I will bring back to them that the board has decided no COLA raises this year.
No, that's not what we said, Letty. We said
Okay.
that they can receive up to a 2.8% pay increase.
Based
Call it
on-
whatever you want.
Okay, so the reason I say that is because last night, the person that made the motion specifically was talking about COLA being no more than 2.8% to match with federal, and it was not inclusive of merit. What you're saying is any increase that we see from department head is less than 2.8%, split however they want to split it.
That's what we voted. Yeah.
Okay.
And just a follow-up on that, I know I saw the email chain from Julie. She was out of the office and wasn't able to get that information in time to the budget committee?
He had it already. He just didn't realize he had it
Okay.
because it was all in that folder.
Well, the way you presented it, it just made Julie look bad. So I was trying to,
We had Julie and I had a long conversation with him after the meeting.
okay.
I also wanted to mention,
I'm still not, I guess, did you and he continue that so you know what he's looking for?
I'm going to make sure he gets what he needs before the meetings.
there's a save the date, on-site public information meeting, pickpocket dam removal, this Saturday, November 1st, 12 to 1 p.m. Pickpocket Dam, 42 Cross Road, and it appears to be a site visit where there'll be discussion as to the restoration after the removal of the dam. So I just wanted to put
Is that the one,
pickpockets.
like where Exeter and
Yes.
Yeah,
they're removing that whole thing?
they are.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. They gotta,
What about the bridge?
Bridge will stay there.
it's the dam.
Because that's wood underneath, so I know that we've
That
had
damn
issues
dam.
with that before with rot.
So the project team is hosting a public sidewalk at the dam. That's what's going on.
I did forget one thing.
Yes.
So many that I forgot one. We had a municipal meeting today, the police, the new police building that we're discussing.
Yeah.
We went over the interior layout and square footage of the proposed standalone police building, which would be option one. Option two would be the police building with the option to later on add another building to it, whether that be town hall or whatever that was chosen. We would have a site plan, ready for that. And then, so we went over a number of different things and kind of finalized the interior layout so that we could get a more accurate number. And the number is still coming in for a standalone police building at 4.7 million. And so we're working to continue that. We're also looking at, in the near future, having some informational meetings for the public. So that's coming down the pike pretty soon. Anything else? Did I miss anything on that?
There were the other options, but I had to leave, so I don't know if those are final yet.
Well, they're not final.
I had forgotten one thing that came up at Budget Committee last night. The school district is having a budget review session next Monday, I guess, to do things differently. So it's gonna be 30 minutes before the regular meeting, so November 3rd.
Is that Swayze or?
Swayze.
Swayze, okay.
Yep. Their GMR for insurance came in at like 14% or something, so they have a lot of in the teens.
Yeah, I heard industry-wide, everything's looking at about 11%. So that's schools, they got a different type plan, so 14% is probably reasonable.
Oh, the insurance committee is meeting on Thursday. We're gonna get 2 presentations from outside or consultants that can hopefully bring us numbers directly from the insurance companies and not through a risk pool. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. For the folks who are remaining, any public comment? Yeah.
You can scream, no.
No, you need to.
You should.
Yeah, the microphone
If
needs
you
to
want
get you,
people in
unfortunately.
the audience at home to hear you.
Melissa Litchfield, Eleanor's Way. Thank you for taking my questions. My first question is, does Julie get a late start on Wednesday mornings?
No.
Just throwing it out there. Secondly, you were talking about the taxes or the evaluation. I'm sorry, if you said it, I missed it. When will we know the tax rate?
We don't know.
We don't
because
know.
the auditors haven't come back with the information yet.
I say that only because Fremont and Danville both have already put out their tax.
Oh, that's
They
not
haven't had to go
surprising.
through what we.
Oh, no, I
had to go through.
understand. I just
Yeah.
was curious.
Our
Ballpark?
audit's not completed yet.
Yeah, it's just because the audit is late. I mean, usually it's done in the spring, and now they're finishing up next week, hopefully.
Do you like ballpark? Do you think like, because I
We're
guess
s-
before the bills come out, right? Or
We're still hoping that they'll be due in December, mid-December-ish.
okay, thank you.
Don't go crazy for Christmas yet. It's not a free taxes session.
Chris Carmody, Crawley Falls Way. 2 weeks ago at the meeting during the public comment, there was some incorrect information about the Friends of the Library. So I'm the president of the Friends of the Library. So both for you, for this very full room, and for people at home, just some correction for false information. One, the Friends of the Library are not banning any books. There was a statement about, and a list was given to you. That list is recommended by other people but it is not, the library is not banning, I'm sorry, the Friends of the Library are not banning books. What we are doing is when books are donated, what's the church?
The Pilgrim Church.
Pilgrim Church, thank you. The Pilgrim Church has a banned books library, which is books that other people ban. They're promoted so that people can read them. And so the books that are donated go to that sometimes on that list so that people can read them. So it's the opposite of banning books.
So you are friendly.
We are friendly. The second part is the friendly.
I'm like, all I kept on saying is, please tell me you're friendly.
Yeah. The second part is the friendly is there's very few requirements to be a friend of the library. One is attend 3 meetings a year, participate in 2 of the events, like we just had the pumpkin decorating. That would be one, or the bookstore is another one. To be a Brentwood resident and to support the library and the Board of Trustees. So there are some individuals in town that are very public and not supporting the Board of Trustees, which is entirely their opinion and can do that as a citizen. But that would mean they're not friendly to the library or a friend of the library as well. It's up to them. So we encourage and welcome everybody to come, but there are those minimums to call yourself a friend of the library too. And then the Friends of the Library are an independent 501c3, which doesn't fall under the select board or any group in town. We like working with the town, working with the library, working with people. We're very appreciative of all the financial donations, the book donations, the time donations, but we just want to clarify, I think it was asked to disband us and to get rid of us or to make us voted, which with all due respect isn't possible. We're a separate group.
Because you're
That's
friendly.
more for the people at home who are thinking about it as well too. So I don't know if there are any questions on the Friends or if that's even this time.
No, I think we were fine. I think, again, you're friendly.
It wasn't on the agenda.
Right. And I think it's less about the people in this room, the more people watch it later. And I just want false information out there thinking that we're banning
I
books at all.
appreciate you coming forward and clarifying that.
Gracias. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Doug, you're the next one. Anything?
I think we have,
No?
some minor things for non-public, should be relatively quick. So-
Okay, motion to go into non-public. Thank you very much for attending. Under
Personnel.
personnel?
Yep. Roll call.
Aye.
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 Letty?
What?
Aye. Non-public?
Aye.
Thanks. Hey, just so you know, I'm almost out. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the chocolate.
What are you, tired? Just gave you enough coffee beans.